On you, Drew, and I think we're looking forward here to a terrific game of football again between Footscray reserves and North Melbourne reserves. Ross, the Bulldogs, well, they've got a few players with senior experience have come back into this team.
Yes, good morning, Robbo, and Drew, to you too. And yes, North Melbourne very keen to atone for last year as well, Robbo. John Law, knowing the side might be up against it because of that fact, they lost a couple of the senior players like Ramiro, Roberts, Adrian McCann, David King, those sorts of players who have played reserves this year and have been good contributors, ineligible today. So Footscray perhaps on paper with the upper hand.
Well, North Melbourne's team, of course, we've got some good players there in it that have represented North in the seniors in young John Barnett, number 17. Jason Danilchenko, number 25, has been certainly a North Melbourne seniors player. Anthony Dwyer, Peter German, Warren Campbell, and the player that I'm looking forward to having a really good look at in these conditions, Ross, is Matthew Capuano, because certainly North Melbourne, a youngster of his potential, he will form a big backbone to their future.
Yes, he's played 3 senior games, Robbo, and North, I know, are looking forward to him taking over a senior role as a big fellow, although I suppose against him, Robbo, a little bit is the fact like McKernan and a few others are in front of him. But the Footscray side looks very impressive. The likes of Nigel Kellett, Rowan Smith, Nicholson, Corcoran, Luke Beveridge, Simon Atkins, Del Ray, McPherson, West, Darcy Hargraves, who was outstanding last week, of course, kicking a bag from centre half forward, and Del Ray, of course, kicking 9 at full forward. And they've got a very, very experienced side, but that doesn't always count in these situations. I think North's enthusiasm should make it a terrific contest, Robbo.
And isn't it interesting when you have a look at number 38 for Footscray, Sidat Sir, and number 51, Zwanimir Suto.
Very good.
Who apparently has come from St Albans and has played in all of Footscray's 3 finals matches. But it's great to see a cross-section of our community, the ethnic background out there in Footscray, producing some bright prospects for the Bulldogs.
Yes, and there's the fellow in the tracksuit there, Timmy Harrington, former North Melbourne and Footscray player, played at Collingwood as well. He's been involved there with the phys ed side, I think, so with Footscray. So, and Robbie West, of course, playing in this game for Footscray, formerly from the West Coast. So, as we've mentioned a few times, plenty of experience.
And having plenty to say there, Andrew Nicol, number 50 in the Footscray squad. Probably start in the ruck, but they've got a bit of size, so they can work a bit of a switch there, Footscray. Now, what about a selection? It's pretty hard to draw a line through the finals when you have North winning the second semi pretty comfortably. They won by 57 points, but Footscray's a different-looking lineup now.
Well, I think it's going to be a very good contest. I believe that North Melbourne have got everything to gain, not much to lose. Footscray are certainly short price favourite because of the fact that they've got these senior players that have come back. But I'll go for a bit of a roughie and tip North, Drew.
Well, North lost the reserves grand final last year, so that might be a spur to them.
Yes, and the other thing too, Drew, it just doesn't matter what grade of football you're playing. If you've had a bit of a breather coming into a grand final, I think that really does assist you, particularly when conditions through the year have been pretty good. And it's been a pretty tough style of football right through the grades we've seen with the under-18 so far. That was a great contest. So I think North perhaps just might have the upper hand, Drew.
Number 40 there in the picture is Luke Darcy, the son of David Darcy, who played quite a bit of football with the Bulldogs.
You see there Brett Hart, number 45, obviously picking up Simon Atkins.
So we get underway for the VSFL Grand Final for 1994. Footscray against North Melbourne. They go up in the middle, and Gareth John gets the first tap. It doesn't go his way. There's Robbie West maybe getting a high tackle, but the umpire doesn't agree. He's going to come in and ball it up.
I thought it might have been a good way for the umpire to get the game started, to give a free kick there and open it out. I would have thought there was one there for the high tackle.
Robbie West, originally from Wodonga, went over to the Eagles, now back at Footscray. A lot of players around this now. John beaten in the ruck. Big hit out there by Luke Darcy, who started in the ruck last week. Clearing for North is Brad Scholl. Up towards centre half forward, and the defensive mark was taken by Andrew Nicol.
Footscray go in towards the centre of the ground here at the MCG, and a good mark taken for North Melbourne there by Anthony Dwyer. And of course that family name, synonymous really with North Melbourne. Father Laurie, brother David, played senior football with North Melbourne. Trying to get clear there was Rowan Smith for Footscray. This is Barnett. Can't control the football, so we'll have a boundary throw in 50 metres from the North Melbourne goal in absolutely perfect conditions for a game of Australian rules football prevailing here at the FCG.
The redhead picking up Barnett is Trent Churchill.
Number 9 for the Bulldogs is Nicholson. The ball spills in towards centre-half forward for North Melbourne. Capuano is number 40. Away goes Kellett for Footscray. Danilchenko. Now Capuano again. Leaves it for Danilchenko. His favoured left foot. Kicks to the front of the square. Marking contest. Beveridge is into it. Footscray tried to get it clear. Corcoran and Beveridge combined. Beveridge gets past, then gets the handball. This is Corcoran for the Bulldogs at right half back. He's forced to kick quickly. The ball slews off the side of his boot. It's out. Just touched maybe before it went over there. Number 36 for the Bulldogs, Tyson Lane. Rough, tough looking customer. And I'm sure we'll see plenty of action between these two teams this afternoon. Chance there for John. Darcy for Footscray. Kicks quickly to centre-half forward. Chance now for the Bulldogs. This is Scott Allen. He's scragged to the ground. North Melbourne will repel. It's Geister in towards the centre. Kellett was hard at the football, but it's Scholl now for North Melbourne. Gets away from the centre of the ground. He kicks towards full forward. Nearly a North Melbourne mark. The ball spills to the back. This is Polak. Gets it back. Kick for goal is by Dwyer. Oh, it nearly bounced through for a goal, but it's been forced over for one behind. So the first score of the game, kicked by Anthony Dwyer, is one behind for North Melbourne.
So the ball coming back into play towards the outer side, and the mark taken over there by Nicol from the Northern Knights. Kick by Nicol towards the centre of the ground. Awkward half volley, and well done by Hargraves. Off to the speedy Kellett. Good hand pass up to the 50. Clean bowls West. Chance here for the Bulldogs. Allen gets the hand pass away. Well, fumble there by Darcy, 40 metres from goal. North clear the ball. The hand pass from Lane. Up the ground at John. Here's kick to half forward. Here's a player 15 metres on his own and taking the mark. Matthew Capuano. Landing about 35 metres from goal. Reaches the back of the pack. Awful looking clearing kick. He'll get a second go at it. Sadat Sir. Snap goal there by Lockhead. Just offline.
Good effort, Drew. He didn't have much room to move there. In fact, the smother may have come from Footscray, but good left foot snap there by Lockhead. He's played a total of 37 reserves games, 20 this year. This is his 21st.
The kick in is very, very good. It finds Sir at right half back. His kick slightly inaccurate, which gave the North Melbourne player the chance to come in and intervene, and he forces it over, and player being the youngster Mark Stevens, and the ball will be thrown in on centre wing.
Good body work there by Rowan Smith too to assist his teammate with some good shepherding.
Right near the players' interchange area, on the member side of the Melbourne cricket ground. North Melbourne get it down. It's Polak. His kick is taken by Dwyer. Maybe a little fortunate there, Anthony Dwyer. Kick towards full forward. A clearing effort now coming from the Footscray player in Nicholson. His high kick in towards centre half forward. Gathered beautifully. Allen, little kick. It's going to land now with West. Left foot snap for goal by West. He's hooked it too far. And through for Footscray's first score, which is a behind kick by Robbie West.
Good effort there by Footscray to clear that ball away from the full-back area. And Robert West also had Danny Delray clear on his left-hand side, but didn't see him in time.
North Melbourne working the ball in short. Rebner into the centre square. Hand pass delayed out towards centre wing. Up towards half forward. Oh, that top mark. A long way out, 60 metres out from goal. Crowded full forward area. Punch to the front. Chance for North here though. A snap goal by Lockhead and the first goal of the game.
This is Mobil's biggest giveaway ever. Mobil Millions is over $2.5 million prize. Just scratch and win instantly. There are 16 brand new Ford Falcon GLIs to be won. Over $1 million worth of free fuel. Plus more than 2 million consolation prizes. You've never seen anything like it. It all adds up to a winner about every 2 seconds, night and day, with Mobile Millions.
Well, already a free kick has been picked out. It looks as though it's going to North Melbourne. The third umpire at the right end of the screen saw an infringement at centre-half forward against a Footscray player, so the free kick for North Melbourne in the centre of the ground. The kick goes towards half forward. It's punched away. Gatherers by Kellett. Tackle is fantastic. Affected there by David Muir. The ball spills and it goes out towards the wing, and the mark is taken out there for Footscray by Corcoran. His kick in towards the centre of the ground. Knocked away by Geister. The ball spills again. A real struggle for possession. It's Campbell. The kick goes back towards the centre. Awkward bounce. Gathered by Danilchenko. His left foot kick towards full forward. Nearly the mark taken. Back there by Lockheed. An indiscreet kick from the Footscray player, and then kicking it out on the full was Nicholson. So North Melbourne will take the free kick. And Ross, you would have to think that this fellow has got a chance to kick a goal here.
Yes, well, Nicholson was looking to just run that ball along the boundary line and just had the ball elevated too high and it goes out of bounds on the full. So Lockheed.
Troy Polak with the football.
Polak, I beg your pardon.
And shot for goal is pretty good. It's touched right on the line and through for one behind. So North Melbourne with most of the play so far in the first term, and they lead 1-3 to one behind.
Kellett up early, didn't even touch the ball. Here's Steve McPherson. Back to Kellett. On the defensive 50. Up towards the centre of the ground. Darcy.
Good kick.
Well-delivered kick, wasn't it?
Steve McPherson wearing one glove on the left hand.
Interesting move. Saw him do that last week in the preliminary final. It is an interesting one. Kick by Darcy up to the 50. Danny Delray. Well, welcome back to the forward line, Danny Delray. He's played most of the season in defence, but went up forward last week and joined in the picnic in that 123-point victory over Fitzroy and kicked 9.
Yes, he got away too easily there from Drone to Manuel there. And still he's a very experienced player.
Danny Delray, 52 metres from goal. Not quite. West, kick smothered. Another chance for the Bulldogs. Good defence by Scholl, back to John. Here's clearing kick. Danilchenko, not quite, but played it well.
Good control.
Peter German in support. He said he's right, said the umpire.
Oh, he made all the running to the foot. He did very well and gets penalised.
Amazing stuff, but if it's there, the umpire's got to pay it. Now it's Kellett for Footscray, 50 metres from goal, but good pressure applied by North Melbourne, and it's a kick forced over. And that player was Peter German who applied that pressure. And that's what footy's all about. Every player on the ground has just got to keep on having a go. There's Peter German in the picture. Gareth John gets his left hand to it. Ball spills back for Kellett. Showing tremendous courage at the bottom of that there is Brad Scholl. And he locks it up for North Melbourne about 45 metres from the Footscray goal.
One thing, North have made a good start for Coach John Moore. Last year in the grand final against Melbourne, they were flogged early and never could recover.
Yes, he certainly made those comments through the week, Drew. That was something he was very wary of and wanted to impress on his players, not to allow that to happen today.
Ordinary bounce by the umpire, grabbed by Atkins, snapped back towards goal, and it's through for a behind.
Interesting to see how some of these senior players adjust to the reserve style of football, because it certainly is a different style. That's where it's so important that you have coaches in the seniors and the reserves have the same method of play, the same idea on how to play the game, so you get that continuity through the ones and the twos.
Rodney Eade on the left there in the North Melbourne box coached the Brisbane Bears to a reserve premiership a few years ago. North Melbourne bring the ball in, and Dwyer takes the mark at left half-back flank.
There's poor defence by the Footscray forwards not to punch that ball away.
And a good chain of hand passing come through, and North on the run. Through Harton it went, up at centre wing, Danilchenko. Now moving up towards half-forward. Scholl, whose brother plays in the seniors and has played state football for Victoria. They've lost at North. And Nicholson clears for Footscray. A high one to centre wing. Dwyer, chest mark.
Yeah, both Dwyer and also Scholl proving effective so far for North Melbourne.
Gee, Anthony Dwyer made that look quite simple in the finish, but determination was good there. And a safe chest mark on centre wing. A very, very ordinary kick. kicks loose off the side of his boot and is over for a boundary throw-in. Ross players finding it a little bit difficult to keep their footing with kicking and just running at the ball.
Yes, although ground conditions really, Robbo, as Matty Campbell's reported so far today, is still pretty good, so there should be no excuses unless their footwear isn't the correct style. Nicol is the Footscray player, diving on the football 50 metres from the North Melbourne goal, and he locks it in. So the umpire will be forced to bounce. 1-3 North Melbourne, 2 behind the Bulldogs. Trent Churchill from the Gippsland under-18.
Nicknamed Bluey. Wonder why.
Fair enough. Atkins dispossessed. Number 45, Brett Harton in there. Now Johnson, who played very well for the Footscray seniors in the latter part of season 94. Brad Johnson. And his kick goes over for another boundary throw, and it's between wing and left half forward, slightly favouring North Melbourne. We're going to have an absolutely perfect day for footy here at the MCG. Shoal, the tap down was from Gareth John, the kick towards centre half forward. The ball spills to the back. Rowan Smith it is to tidy up for the Bulldogs. He gets it to Corcoran. Corcoran, he's got a paddock in front of himself, bounces twice, then steadies, kicks in towards full forward. A beautiful kick to the advantage of Danny Delray, and he doesn't let his teammate down. He's marked in the forward pocket about 35 metres from the Footscray goal.
Yes, and all their experienced players touching the footy there too, Robbo. And Delray again just leading away from Demanuel, but this time forced himself into the pocket.
Well, Danny Delray has kicked plenty of goals, both in reserves and senior football for Footscray. He shot for goal. Gee, it looks pretty good. No, it must have just missed off to the left-hand side and through for his first score. And Footscray's third behind as we have a look at the coach's box there. And well, some interested onlookers in the Footscray coach's box.
Looks as though they've sold tickets.
They might have won some raffle prizes, maybe, Drew. Auction prizes?
Yeah. No sign of Terry Wallace as the man in charge. Stuart Anderson for North Melbourne. Clears the 50 easily. Big pack flies, but no mark. Kellett at the back gets the hand pass up. Johnson. Delray flies with a teammate. It comes to ground. Allen gets it going goalwards. But here's Anderson once more for North. Danilchenko been prominent early. He's kicked to the centre of the ground. Churchill front of the pack, no mark. Polak spun through without it. Corcoran onto the chest of teammate. Smith, 51 metres out. And Footscray cannot buy a goal. That's their fourth behind.
Just getting caught out there, the North defence, when that ball was kicked long by Danilchenko, and then the spoil was affected by the Footscray half-backs, and then the forwards there, Footscray just loose because the North backs had attacked and didn't get a chance to get back quickly enough.
Kick in marked by Shoal. Hand pass back to Anderson. Anderson goes through centre half-back. Kicks out towards the wing. The punch away will favour Danilchenko. Forced to kick with his right foot. Gets reasonable ground. Close to the boundary line, it'll go over. In front of, well, Danilchenko nearly did a Wayne Harms then.
Would have been a big hit
after his original kick.
There's Alan Joyce, the senior coach at Footscray this year. Started in round 3. Terry Wheeler replaced after 2 rounds. Here's Luke Beveridge. Little hand pass round the corner. Kellett under pressure. North applying good pressure. In fact, good start for both sides. They're working each other out, and we've had just 1 goal in 15 minutes of football.
Yes, of course, what will bring to bear in this game with the senior players that are prevalent today is the fact there will be some pressure on because they are used to that sort of pressure at senior level. So it could be scrappy.
Free kick taken by Darcy. 21 for North Melbourne is Muir. Can't keep the ball in. Ex-Claremont, David Muir. He's kicked 31 goals for the year. He's playing a long way away from the goal square today.
Yes, also was on the Eagles list too, Drew, but couldn't cut it there.
Boundary throw in the forward half for Footscray. Ball spills now for North Melbourne. They move it in towards the centre. Ball handling not too bad. The ball spills back for Anderson. Anderson's left foot kick towards centre half forward. The high flyer, great mark. One of the most promising young players in the North Melbourne list of 42 is Matthew Capuano. He's kicking towards full forward. Chipping in and taking the mark was Dwyer. I get the feeling that the kick may have been meant for Lockheed.
I think you're right there, Robert, but again, the experience of Dwyer just chipping in.
Well, it'd have to be a chance to kick a goal, Anthony Dwyer. Very accomplished footballer, and kicking from 40 metres. He kicks for goal, and the breeze just floating away to the right, and Footscray defenders hurrying it through for a rush behind to North Melbourne. So the Kangaroos lead by 6 points. They're 1-4. Footscray are 4 behind. The only goal kicker on the ground so far, Greg Lockheed.
It's a windy day scoreline, isn't it? Here's John from half-forward flank. Centering kick. Push out. Footscray free kick. And that's taken there quickly by Nicholson. Out he goes to Sir. He's played 23 reserves games this year. Luke Beveridge, former Melbourne seniors player, and plenty of seniors experience this year for Footscray. I'm looking forward to seeing Luke Darcy today. Long kick. Oh, here he is again, Danny Delray. Now, surely this time, Delray will kick a goal.
Yes, good positioning there by Darcy through the middle of the ground. It's a terrific kick from Beveridge to find him, and then Darcy's kick was equally effective to find the big fella Delray.
He was the leading goal kicker in the seniors, twice for Footscray. Played just 3 senior games this year, and eventually Footscray on the board with a goal.
I was drunk.
It wasn't.
I was drunk.
You didn't mean to.
At McDonald's, the reason why our shakes are so good is because we use real milk.
So Danny Delray has run half the length of the ground to congratulate Luke Darcy. That brilliant kick to give Delray the chance to get the Bulldogs' first goal. Footscray force it forward. Advantage is paid. It's with Allen. Tackled, but ball spills to his advantage. Allen from the right forward pocket. A kick to the front of the square at the back. Is that mark being paid? No. Away goes Anderson. Anderson's kick is not too bad. It sits up beautifully there for Peter German at right half back. The kick in towards the centre of the ground. The mark is taken for North Melbourne by Campbell. Campbell's kick. Centre half forward. The high flyers, but it's brilliantly taken off the pack by Barnett. Barnett, no one home in the goal square, and Barnett has kicked a goal for North Melbourne. Brilliant roving at centre half forward by John Barnett results in North Melbourne's second goal, and the Kangaroos lead again by 6 points.
And again, just illustrating the most effective way to get home. Come with the ball cleanly. German's chip kick to the middle was very good, and they just cleared the ball down beautifully. And as Robbo said, this roving by Barnett was terrific. Almost like Jimmy Cracker, just crisply took the ball, kept his footing, steadied, and an opportunist goal.
That's what he's done all year. He's kicked 54 goals, roving packs just like that.
Well, we remember John Barnett as captain of the Teal Cup premiership winning team a couple of years ago out at Waverley. Polak, Dwyer, back to Polak. Polak from 50 metres. Goes long. It'll land just to the right of the square. Away goes Footscray. This is Churchill. His kick goes short. Smith it is. He may get run down. And good chasing, but the ball spills. Opportunity now for Darcy. This is Anthony Darcy. 2 Darcy boys playing for the Bulldogs. The other one, Luke. Now Footscray gets clear through Allen. Allen is at right half forward. He's kicking towards the centre half forward position. It breaks down. Too slow for North Melbourne with Costa. Now Beveridge. The little kick into the pocket. To the advantage of West. No, it bounces just a little too far for that player. And strong at the football was Mark Brebner. For North Melbourne, he'll take the free kick. He goes in short. North Melbourne will clear. It's Anderson receiving the hand pass. He kicks long towards half forward. The ball spills to the back. Darcy, no, it's Polak again for North Melbourne.
Kick off the left by Polak. Ball slips through the hands of John. There's a push here, and it's going to be a free kick Footscray's way. It's taken by Sadat Sir. Out of the back pocket. Just under 5 minutes to quarter time. Comes off the hands to Scholl, and he has to dive in after it. Good persistence there by Harton. Eventually the umpire to ball it up.
There's the two North players who are spoiling themselves there in the marking contest, Polak and Capuano.
Brad Nicholson there, number 9, who's played 8 seniors games this year, including a final. 2 40s go at it. Here's Anthony Darcy, flips the ball up in the air. Harton is buried by McPherson. Play on. And once again, the umpire will ball it up. Umpires in charge, Martin Ellis, Dean Goodrich, and Michael Sexton.
Speaking of Fred Harton too, Drew, so far he's done a terrific job on Simon Atkins, just allowing the senior player the one kick.
Steve McPherson using his rather intimidating tactics there.
He's done it a few times so far.
North Melbourne opponent. I'm in charge of this game, says Steve. Anthony Darcy gets it to Steve McPherson. Hand pass over the top. Too far for Atkins. A contest. This is Campbell for North Melbourne. Gets around onto the left foot. Does well, does Warren Campbell. Then kicks towards the 50-metre line. No mark, but the ball's filled for German. He can't quite get the hand pass away effectively. Now it comes back to Scholl. Scholl off the right foot. Kicks to the front of the square. Big high flyer with Polak. A struggle for possession for the Footscray defenders. And the ball eventually will become the central umpire there.
And one of the Footscray boys in trouble, Robbo, with Polak flying to that mark. I think he may have got a knee accidentally, of course, into the rib cage or stomach area of the Footscray boy. I can't pick him up at the moment.
Well, bad luck for the Bulldogs, but
Right where the umpire's going to ball it up, so there'll be a hold-up here.
Doctor on his way out.
Footscray making a change. Coming off as Anthony Darcy and about to take his place for Footscray's Paul Whelan.
Yes, it was to that too, Robbo, as you pointed out there to me, so he looks all right. May have just been winded. A chance to gather his breath.
So a chance for North Melbourne here. A ball up about 20 metres out from goal. John gets it down. German kicks the goal.
I don't see Superwoman fixing her own storm damage these days.
You could say that.
Really? Worried?
Actually, the insurance company got the emergency services out in the middle of the night. I even organised the roofing contractor.
I bet that cost a bomb.
No, it's free with my house and contents insurance. Aussie Home Assist, they call it.
What sort of insurance company does that?
Mom, it's the RACV on the phone. They want to know if everything's okay.
RACV Insurance. It's not just another insurance company.
What are you going to do now?
Switch?
3 minutes remaining in the first quarter. A 12-point lead to North Melbourne in the reserves grand final. Darcy beaten in the middle by Capuano. Oh, a high tackle there and a free kick will be taken by Kellett. So Corcoran it is, up centre half forward. Hargraves, play on. He kicked 11 last week. Crowd not happy with that. It comes North Melbourne's way. Kicked by Harton, up short of half forward. Nicholl leaves it this time for Smith. Good hand pass over the top. Smith gets it back in the old 1-2. Rowan Smith approaches the 50, goes along with his kick. It's a chance. What a goal! Well, that's a real team lifter for the Bulldogs.
Well done, Rowan Smith. Just prepared to run and use his pace to advantage. He's got the ball out of the congestion with a good little handball. As Drew said, the 1-2. Here we go. Gets it back again. Well run. Got a shepherd. Atkins a little late to provide it, but in the end realised. And just from outside 50, terrific kick.
great effort there by Rowan Smith. The ball bounced back in the centre. Really to the advantage of North Melbourne. They get it clear. It's Barnett. The quick kick towards centre half forward. Keeping his footing very efficiently is Barnett. The kick towards full forward. So that Sir takes the mark at the rear of Lockhead. Sir kicks wide. Corcoran for Footscray at left half back. Kicks quickly to the wing. Callett's made good position. He gathers. May get run down, but he's able to get his left foot to it. Kicks towards half forward. No mark taken by Muir, but he's quick to recover. The ball now the combination. It finishes with McPherson. McPherson from 49 metres. He makes no mistake, and the Bulldogs get their third.
Ball square, Robbo, which just shows you can't drop your head in any game of football. Footscray just got these last 2 goals very quickly and got them very effectively with players are free. McPherson, the player on this occasion, just summed the situation up very well, and so he should with a player of 180 games seniors experience, and finished off as you'd expect from a quality player like that.
Well, I just got the feeling that Luke Darcy might have been in that combination as well, getting the hand pass to Steve McPherson.
I saw a bit of Luke Darcy, and there he is again in the middle. Saw a bit of him last week in the preliminary final, and looks a champion in the making. Down to McPherson again, off the side of the boot. West! Great mark.
We had to sit all the time, didn't he, Drew? Ball just going to carry over the top. Doesn't mind having a fly, Robbie Wesley. But
short pass to McPherson, and the umpire says come back and kick over the mark. Scores all tied up with 1:20 to go to quarter time. And now Robbie West going for goal. Only 20 metres out.
good kick.
Oh, it's a beauty. The Footscray kicked 3 in 3 minutes.
Yes, well, Stuart Anderson, the player who West took the mark over, just couldn't do a lot about that. He had to stand his ground. West went back, as you see the effort out of the centre. McPherson featuring again. It was a good tap by Luke Darcy to get that ball to McPherson, and good penetrating kick. Anderson there just caught underneath the ball, and West a good fly. A terrific kick. Backed himself.
Now, Robbo, Luke Darcy, the son of Dave Darcy, a Footscray champion in the past. So he's certainly got the genes. Looks a good player.
My word, yes. And David Darcy, I'm sure, represented Victoria at some stage too. North Melbourne try to clear the ball away from the centre congestion, but it's this rebound. This is Campbell. Campbell's kick goes towards half forward. A little bit too high there for Capuano. Through there strongly with Nicholson.
Free kick for holding goal. Advantage, Robbo.
Maybe the advantage made. Roscoe, yes. Finishes with Beveridge. The kick by Beveridge is good. Mark taken by Callan. Gets it away here to Tyson Lane. Lane approaches 50 metres and waits the kick, but getting back for North Melbourne and taking a safe mark in the goal square is Simpson. So certainly the experience advantage is with Footscray in this match. North Melbourne doing pretty well. This is one of their more experienced campaigners, Peter German, away to Campbell. Campbell forced to go onto the left, then gets back onto the right foot. Kicks high in towards full forward. We're into the last 10 seconds, so important that a mark is taken. No, the ball spills back. Polak, but it's Atkins for Footscray. Gets the hand pass to Johnson. Johnson gets the kick away, and the siren sounds for quarter time here in the VSFL Grand Final. North Footscray lead by 6 points there, 4-4. North Melbourne at 3-4.
Who'll be king of the mountain in 94? Bathurst, only on 7, tomorrow from 8.
Barnett, Peter German and Greg Lockhead. Grand Final Day 1994, and there is the shot from the top of the Regent Hotel of this great amphitheatre, this great stadium, which is the MCG, the mecca for all football fans today, and those no doubt have come from all over Australia, and plenty from Perth. Something up to about 20,000, we believe, might have come from Perth to see the Eagles play in the Seniors Grand Final. Here's Flinders Street Station, nearly as well known around Australia as the MCG. And, well, plenty of souvenirs to get. Gary Ablett on front of the morning paper. Well, she's having 5 bob each way.
Souvenirs to see. I don't think there'll be too many people in Hay Street Mall today in Perth.
That will be
vacant.
Those statues are on the corner of Swanson Street and Burke Street, just across from Myers.
There are some wonderful days in Melbourne. Melbourne Cup Day, Grand Final Day, and this is really one that's great to be here. And down at boundary level, we can welcome him into town, Matty Campbell. Matt?
Thanks very much, Drew. Nice to see you guys have finally arrived. I've been here since the crack of dawn. But, Roscoe, just a point that you made about the footwear, just about every player out there is wearing moulded soles, and there was noticeably some gear changes at quarter time. And speaking of gear, Steve McPherson's golden glove, every time he touches it, Footscray seemed to get a goal.
Yeah, he's brought the right glove with him today.
Yeah, it's interesting you mentioned that too, Matty, because those conditions from here look terrific, but ground level obviously a little shifting and still a bit greasy.
Yeah, a little bit greasy, but I mean, I would have thought every time I play the MCG, you always wear long socks just in case.
You never fell over.
Never got near it.
I guess there must be some sort of consideration for the very, very slippery centre area here at the Melbourne Cricket Ground. So We'll see what develops in the second term with the players now. It's Gareth John to Peter German towards full forward. The ball at the back. It's helped over by Nicholson for a boundary throw in the left forward pocket for North Melbourne. Footscray lead by 6 points, courtesy of 3 late goals in the first term. Their goal kickers, Rowan Smith, Danny Delray, Steve McPherson and Robert West. North Melbourne's goal kickers, Barnett, German and Lockhead.
Throw in. Polak gets it out in front of goal. Here's a chance for Peter German. Loses it in the tackle. Play on, says the umpire. Tackling's pretty fierce, and that ball's not coming out in a hurry. And the umpire will ball it up about 35 metres out from goal. North Melbourne in attack.
Oh,
bit of body work on Peter German. He'll get a free.
Yes, it might be against Nigel Keller too, Drew.
Well, how silly is that? That's just giving away a goal in a grand final, especially when it's tight.
Statistics, Drew, at this stage, 48 kicks each, 23 handballs to 20 in favour of Footscray, 19 marks to 16 in favour of Footscray.
Peter German for his second goal. Scores level.
Well, it was a silly free kick, Drew, I know, but and there wasn't much in it, but you just don't give the umpire an opportunity to make a decision like that, particularly when you're so close to goal. And on top of that, to someone like Peter German, who is such a sharpshooter, doesn't mind having a shot at the big sticks, and he made them pay dearly.
So there's Peter German in picture. Luke Darcy in the foreground. Peter German urging his younger players on. Scores level early in the second term. Gareth John, a big run at it. Couldn't quite get an effective tap. He's in there after it once again. Beveridge feeds it through the back. German. Oh, through strongly there was Muir. Now North Melbourne gets the ball towards full forward. All important bounce here. Lockhead is grabbed by Sir. Gets the hand pass back. That's Polak. Knocked away by Sir. Back towards the 50-metre line. This is Campbell for North Melbourne. Back onto the right foot. He loves to kick goals across his left shoulder. Campbell's kick nearly taken by Capuano, and it spills over for a rush behind to North Melbourne. So that gives North Melbourne the lead in the VSFL Grand Final. Just one behind is their advantage as Shannon Corcoran prepares to kick it back in for the Bulldogs.
And goes straight up the ground. Not the longest kick in history, though. And at the back of the pack, the chest mark is taken. Anderson fires out the pass quickly. It gets through the pack. Chance here. A snap for goal goes through from Capuano.
Going up. First floor. Menswear, women's
Get the age and you could win $10,000 cash deposited into a National Visa or MasterCard, plus enough flight ice points for 2 return interstate airfares.
Fourth floor. Cosmetics, hosiery and sex.
With $10,000 to spend,
Fifth floor.
you won't know where to start.
Bridal wear and lingerie.
Details in tomorrow's Age.
So 7 points is the advantage for North Melbourne. Free kick.
I think he's going to bounce it, Robbo.
A bounce, is it? Well, the ball did spill free quickly. I thought maybe after blowing his whistle there, but the umpire was to award a free kick. But he's going to repeat the dose. You can see the centre circle there, the Channel 7 logo. Getting his hands on it, Luke Darcy. Oh, Steve McPherson. Very strong. Advantage is paid. McPherson goes for goal. Whoops the kick. And misses to the left-hand side.
Yes, and his teammate Tyson Lane just looking to say, you could have handballed, Steve. I was on your left-hand side, and I was free, and you could have had a closer shot at goal.
Anderson to kick in for North. 35-29, North Melbourne leading. Hargraves, number 37. Well, he's hardly had a touch yet. Kicked 11 goals last week. Out it comes to Danilchenko. The kick to centre-half forward. It gets to the back to Polak, but there's a push-out and a free kick.
Nicholson got pushed out there, Drew.
So Brad Nicholson going back to take his free kick from centre-half back. Short to McPherson. Not much gain in territory. Sweeps the hand pass across the ground. Now they can go for the run. Rowan Smith, who kicked a great goal in the first quarter, but very wide with this kick, and that is no way home to goal.
Pretty ordinary kick at the finish.
Yeah, Tyson Lane can't take a trick. Didn't get the handball before from McPherson. The kick coming from Smith there, not good enough.
Boundary throw in, right half forward for Footscray. It's probably 2 kicks from their goal. Darcy and John, but it's gathered by German. His kick goes towards the wing. Oh, brilliantly gathered by Barnett. Very skillful player. He's kicked to half forward. Polak up high, couldn't take the mark. Is he the first to recover? Good contest by Nicholson. Ball spills now for Churchill. His kick is well smothered, but he goes back after it, which is well done. Second try at it was good. He's kicked towards the centre of the ground. Coming through strongly was Muir. Set it up maybe for Anderson. Anderson's kick in towards half forward. Brilliantly blocked there by Capuano. Very important. Scholl has a chance. Gets the handball to German. He slips over. Still the players finding difficulty in keeping their footing on the MCG turf. Now this is Lane. Lane's kick quickly towards half forward. Out in front, and well done to young Hargraves. And he's wide of centre half forward. This was his first kick for the game. He kicked something like a dozen goals last week. Tell it into an open goal for the Bully. Kicks accurately and gets Footscray's 5th goal.
Allow us to highlight a few of the Mitsubishi Verada's features. Mitsubishi Verada V6 Xi.
Back in the middle and all tied up 5-5 apiece. What a game in the reserves grand final. Good body work going on in the middle. Atkins and his marksman. Danilchenko been prominent. He's got a high tackle and there's no advantage there, so it's coming back to Danilchenko. Coming up for his 7th kick. 2 senior games this year. And from the cricket pitch area, mammoth kick, a ripper. Punch down to the front. Corcoran for Footscray. Goes towards the outer side. Luke Darcy leads the race. Good gather. Fantastic hand pass to Allen. Scott Allen just gets away, but he's put off his kick slightly. Well trapped at halfback. It goes back Northway. Here's Scholl. The hand pass to Anderson on the run. His pass indirect. It goes straight to McPherson, who beats a man. Just gets his kick away. Outside the centre square. Atkins. Hasn't been prominent, Simon Atkins. Good tackle applied. Here's Atkins again. Nice hand pass this time. McPherson snaps. A goal! Steve McPherson gets his 2nd and breaks the deadlock.
Yes, and the ball just falling Footscray's way in that situation. The ball being kicked off the ground and forced forward by North, trying to get it away from half-back, and just numbers here. Footscray, I thought that might have been high, that tackle, but obviously not. Then Atkins with deft handball there finds McPherson, who's very good in that tight situation. Again, another option to handball, but impressed anyhow with a terrific goal.
Atkins just 3 possessions, been kept quiet by Harton.
Steve McPherson in the picture there with 2 goals for Footscray. Their leading goal scorer. Peter German has kicked 2 for North Melbourne. Approaching the halfway mark of this 2nd term. Big punch by Gareth John. Ball at half forward for North Melbourne. Gatherers by Campbell. Can't get his foot to it. Jump unceremoniously. Darcy in there. So is John. A real scramble. Oh, in goes the player severely there. Is that a free kick now to Footscray to be taken by Whelan? No. The umpire will bounce. Just wide of the centre circle.
Free kicks at the moment, Robbo, favouring Footscray 10-4.
Well, we did see a tremendous discrepancy in the senior game, which involved North Melbourne last week. A lot of discussion about that. But this is Dwyer for North Melbourne, in towards the forward pocket. High flyer there was Polak, but it's punched over for Footscray by Nicholl and Nicholson.
It's just damaged the finger there, I think, in that spoiling contest. Could end up having hands like Neil Curley if he's not careful.
Darcy in ruck. Oh, Barnett, the rover, will get a goal. No. Or did he? No, just missed. So Barnett, 1 goal, 1. He's not too happy with that, but he's on a pretty narrow angle.
Well, I thought he might have made it a bit easy for himself, Drew, and whilst he's a left footer, he could have stepped a few paces to his right, opened up the angle and kicked with his right boot, but that wasn't taken.
Third takes it from the back pocket. Clears half back with his kick. Gareth John drops the mark. Danilchenko, hand pass blocked by McPherson. And rushed over the boundary line. The ball out of play. Tyson Lane there with the very short hair. Kicked 5 goals last week, despite at one stage being carried off. He came back and kicked a few more goals. Ball knocked up by Hargraves to McPherson. Hargraves having a shocker this week compared to last week. Shot like the poor lolly. Corcoran inside the 50. Johnson can't gather. And North Melbourne cleared. De Mamiel out towards centre wing.
Oh, they've got numbers here, North Melbourne. Wide on centre wing, Gareth John could raffle it. Campbell was disappointed, looking for the hand pass. Gareth John goes towards full forward. The ball spills to the back. This is Whelan. Tackled there by Lockhead, and it didn't have the football. So Whelan will come away with the football and kicks out towards the wing, and Lane eventually gets his hand on the footy and takes the mark just behind the wing. Kicks quickly, in towards half forward, reading it a little bit better than his opponents there is Mark Brebner. Takes the mark. He's at right half back. Kicks in towards centre half forward. Capuano in front. Taken away. North Melbourne are a chance here. Campbell can gather. Gets onto his right foot. Close to the boundary line. Shocking kick. For a senior footballer or a man with senior football aspirations, that was a disappointing result for Warren Campbell.
He's had a big year. He started playing with the Aboriginal All-Stars in a game against Collingwood and Darwin, which I did way back in February. Here is the grand final in October.
With the North senior side being so potent up forward, you have to play very well to force himself into that side.
Signed by Capuano and a good mark. Just 5 points the difference here in the reserves grand final. Footscray leading North Melbourne. Kicked by Capuano. Whipped over the back by Polak. Here's Barnett. Good tackle, holds him up. Oh, it slipped low, and the umpire said eventually it was low, and he's won the free kick.
Was he fortunate or what?
Well, he was very fortunate. In fact, I thought the umpire could have allowed the play to go on, considering his North's advantage anyway, because the teammate had the footy, but was lucky there, definitely. Here we see it again.
Well, with a free kick of 11-5 against them, North Melbourne certainly won't be screaming about it.
Well, some would argue that he should have been benched for holding the ball in the first place.
Seem to have it for an eternity, I thought.
I am of that opinion.
You are?
So Barnett kicking for goal from about 40 metres out. This to put North in front. Close. Just offline. So he's had a couple of missed shots for goal in the last couple of minutes.
Perhaps justice there because Paul Whelan was the player who affected the tackle in the first place, and he was probably a little disappointed that he didn't get the free for holding the ball. And he thought, well, I'm not going to let him break free, I'll just hold him up.
Durr's kick in the finish was very good. He had no one to kick it to. So he went for the safety of the boundary line and bounced just inside and eventually over for a throw-in. And the people in the race at the background where the boundary umpire is affecting this throw-in would be fairly interested, I would think. Geelong and West Coast people. North Melbourne get it towards full forward. Ball spills to the back. Oh, too slow. Much too slow. Barnett affected a good tackle. Churchill for Footscray gets rid of it much quicker. Out towards the wing position. Campbell bump. Then tackle too high. Free kick to Johnson for Footscray at left half back. The difference in the two sides at this stage, 4 points. Footscray 41, North Melbourne 37, and young Johnson that kicks Footscray out of trouble. Down towards the wing. Lane gathers the ball very nicely onto the left foot. He's kicked towards half forward. Nearly the mark taken for North Melbourne by Brebner. Anderson good in defence. Too slow with Scholl. Off the ground Atkins. No messing around. Delray's in the pocket. Can he control the football? Very intelligent. No, he can't get it clear. And taking it over is Simpson for North Melbourne. And a free kick will go against Simpson, but not attempting to keep the ball in play. Well, that's a bit rough and tough. Still,
North Melbourne might get some edited highlights of frees that have gone against them in seniors and reserves over 2 weeks.
It's now 13-5, Drew. Free kick.
Delray advantaged by the fact that he's kicking with that right foot. He hooks the kick. It's pretty close. He's happy. The But the goal umpire's not very pleased at all and signals just one behind. Danny Delray, 1 goal, 2. Still the 2 leading goal scorers for their respective teams are the experienced Steve McPherson for Footscray and Peter German for North Melbourne.
Stevens marks the kick in, finds DeMamiel up from the back pocket. Kicked by DeMamiel to centre wing. Juggler there, ball hits the back.
Whelan through.
Whelan. And very wide, the ball goes out of play. And we'll have a boundary throw in. Midway through the second quarter in the reserves grand final. And Footscray leading by 5 points. John and Darcy. You'd think either of them would get a surname, wouldn't you? Looks like Brett Hartley, who's doing particularly well on Simon Atkins. He held him to just 5 possessions. I don't think Hartman's seen much of the ball, but he is just a real stopper, a doer.
But actually, a couple of blokes on him, Drew. They've got Hart playing close and then German going forward. Just alternating on him there.
Here's Scholl. Good rather by McPherson, and comes up with clean possession. Over his shoulder, the kick short of the 50. And Brebner out of defence for North. Long to centre half forward. Capuano moving beautifully and takes the mark. It's coming back for the kick for Capuano.
It's Andrew Nicol, the fellow he's marked, was the player who got held up in the goal square just a few minutes ago, being terribly slow to get rid of the footy.
Matthew Capuano kicked 4 goals against Footscray in the second semi a couple of weeks ago. Long raking kick to full forward. Oh, excellent mark for Colton.
We just might have jumped this young fellow. He's come across from Perth, we mentioned before, but gets himself caught behind a little bit and backs himself in. He's got to be careful. He wants to aspire to senior position, not to do that too often. This time just read it beautifully. He's also been flying a little bit early.
Finished second in the Gardner medal behind David Bain. So what is it with you West Australians? He's trying to take over. Troy Pollack for his 45th goal of the season. And disappointing, missing to the left. Margin 4 points. Kick in by Corcoran towards the outer side. Peter German takes the mark. 60 metres from goal near the boundary line. Centres it back to the goal square. Oh, a chance for Campbell. Kicks the goal. North in front.
Technology is not the end of competition. It merely raises the bar 1 inch higher, 1 second faster. Technology is the mind pushing the limits of muscle. Great new shoes.
North Melbourne will get clear of the centre congestion. The Barnett's kick lands on the chest of Nicol for Footscray. His kick in short. Well done there by Danilchenko. Scholl gets it to German. German loves this situation. From 50 metres, Peter German goes for goal and misses to the right-hand side. And Drew for his first behind. Of course, kicked 2 goals.
Did you see what the future is for Peter German, Robbo? He's the most experienced player on the ground. He's had 185 senior games, so where he heads from after this season, not too sure.
Well, let's hope he can get to the magical 200 mark. There's a great mark taken there by Capuano. He starts to put his mark on this game. North Melbourne a real chance. The kick towards full forward. Opportunity for Callan. Under a little bit of pressure, gets his left foot to it, and in the finish delivers it with precision, basically. And it goes over for another throw-in between wing and right half forward for North Melbourne. They lead 6-9 to 6-6. Interesting first half so far in this grand final of the VSFL. This is Callan. Quick kick by Nigel Callan across his left shoulder, out towards the wing. Lane. Chance there for Anderson. Gathering that awkward ball is Allen, and he shrugs the tackle. Gets a little left foot kick. Johnson trying to set it up. draws the player and then gets it to Beveridge. Beveridge pass is magnificent. Danny Del Rey in front of Demamiel there, and he's marked about 30 metres out on a 45-degree angle.
Yes, and Demamiel there just looked as if he was thinking that Beveridge was going to go long toward goal and just gave Del Rey a couple of metres. That's all you need to pull forward with a pass coming in like that from Beveridge.
Danny Del Rey goes for goal number 2, judges that three beautifully and puts it straight through the centre. 2 goals to Del Rey, 2 goals to Steve McPherson, Footscray's leading goal scorers. And the Bulldogs get the lead back. It's 7-6 to 6-9.
I think John Law, from the North Melbourne point of view, would be fairly happy with his side, initially not allowing Footscray to jump away as he thought they may. But they've had the ball inside their 50 quite a few times, or they haven't been able to capitalise them. And Footscray have gone forward. They've got their goals a little easier with players running free. They're having a running shot at goal or set shots like that.
Back in the middle, just about a dead heat between the ruckmen. Darcy pulled off his kick. Atkins hacks it out of the air. The hand pass up, tapped on by Hargraves unselfishly, and a chance for West. 40 metres out, Robbie West. Good shot for goal. Well, Hargraves mightn't be getting a kick, but he did well then.
Yes, that's a beautiful tap on. Good, intelligent football, knowing where your teammates are. He may well have got a call from West, but even so, he slid to effect that tap on as he did. Atkins cleverly out of the middle there, heartened the player to try and put his hands on it. But not good enough. And Whelan featuring there, and there's that tap on. Beautiful football. Could have handballed to Atkins running through, but backed himself and did well.
2 goals to Robert West for Footscray. And the ruck contest, well, it really wasn't a contest. Gareth John gets it out towards centre-half forward. Taken by Churchill. He's dragged to the ground, but he does well. Drags it back in, a bit risky. Could have nearly been penalised. But the umpire, giving him the benefit of the doubt, will bounce between the centre of the ground and right half-forward flank, favouring North Melbourne. Kangaroos trail. They're 6-9. Footscray are 8-6. Ball comes down to Scholl. He gets his right foot to it. It's a centre-half forward for North Melbourne. Barnett playing the ball in front of himself. In chips Dwyer. Gets it on. Up towards full forward. Kick off the ground. It could be a goal to North. Kick by Lockhead.
Sunday, the heat's on at Thunder Mountain as the Big V8 battle it out in the adrenaline-charged Dewey 1000. Steve Brock, Skate, Perkins and Stephen in this white-knuckle classic. Then,
how could they save an animal from extinction?
What purpose does zoos serve in the community?
It really is a great cause.
Zoos of the World, a special 2-hour talk to the animals, followed at 8:30 by a world premiere event. Police rescues Gary Sweet in Cody for the first time on television Sunday on 7.
Back in the middle, just under 6 minutes to half-time, and the Bulldogs leading by just 3 points. Well, John with a big one over the top. McPherson for Footscray, though. Allen caught by Anderson. Anderson, well done to dispossess him and come up with a footy. Now he's lost it. He's got it back again. Loses it in a tackle. Gee, this is good stuff. A close game of football, and that's as tight as you'd ever get. Quick exchange of handballing, and North Melbourne up towards centre-half forward. Dropped by Nicholson. Here's Polak. I
was wanting that to come up with.
Churchill might be the mug to come up with it, right? Whelan takes the mark just inside the line. Beats his man out there. Over centre wing, wide of Allen. Will it sit for him? Around Anderson. Wild hand pass and defended by Geiser. Diving attempt and successful. The ball flipped up to Dwyer. Churchill's ball from behind by Polak and the ball out of play. Oh, I'm glad I got that out of the way reasonably early then for you, Roscoe.
Brett Hardy look you like?
Boundary throw in, left half forward for North Melbourne. Contest between Capuano and Nicol. Nicol gets his left foot to it, but the kick smothered off the boot. He gets his hands to it. Polak can't get his foot to it. Simon Atkins effectively gets it out to Nicholson. Nicholson's kick quickly towards the wing, and a little push out, was it? That's the way the umpire sees it. And the free kick is against Allen and will be taken by Anderson. Anderson nearly up to the wing. He's kicked in the direction of centre-half forward. No mark. At the back was Sir. Gets it to Lane. lane in towards full forward. The bounce all important. Demamiel backs himself. You like to see that. The defender coming straight down the ground. He's kicking towards the centre of the ground. Nearly taken. It is eventually by Harton. Knocks forward again. This is Polak. Brilliantly gets onto the left foot, past his opponent, goes for goal, and posts a major for North Melbourne.
And what about the work of Capuano as well?
Exactly. He's featured in these last 2 goals for North through. His little kick toward the goal square before results in a goal. And now this tap on, very similar to Hargraves at the other end with his tap here. Harton getting away, then knowing it might have been in trouble, he had a grab that Capuano did that. Polak was playing in front, so he got the advantage there. The Spur to kick the goal, did it very well.
Well, seesawing game here. North by 3 points. Here's Atkins. He kicks defensively, goes backwards. Calms the ball down this time to Sir. And from Sir with love up towards half forward. West, back to Atkins. And his kick is good, just over the head of Beveridge. He's still got a chance. Delray overruns it. Brebner gets back there, number 55. He loses control. Lane kicks a goal. So Footscray in front.
Yes, and Tyson Lane, the former Victorian Schoolboys captain, just taking full advantage there of Brebner's little fumble. Ball just trickling through. And the mistakes that coaches see. Manuel's got in front to bounce, beat him. And then Brebner trying to stop and prop, as they say. Lost control of it, and the goal results.
Now in this game, the lead has changed 8 times and has been levelled 5 times. So what a grand final we're getting here. Clean possession to Gareth John. Here's kick towards the 50. Churchill in front. Barnett spoils him. Capuano, good hand pass to his teammate there, and hoisted high by Lockhead. Polak, 8 metres out. Little hand pass. A high ball. Won't make it from about 4 metres out. Yes, it will, for a minor score. And that should be quite quiet. 2 behind to Anthony Dwyer. 2 points to margin. Churchill takes the kick in.
This is Churchill for Footscray at left half back. Kicks in towards centre half back. It's taken by Nicholson. Nicholson for Footscray. Kicks it wide. Looks for Nickel, but the bounce is awful for that player. In goes Lockhead, strongly at the football, and does well. Off the left foot, the kick goes towards half forward. Leading in the race is Dwyer. Can get the hand pass to the advantage there of Scholl, but it's well done by Sir. Now the ball finishes with Whelan. Whelan's kick to the wing. No one home for North. Footscray have got plenty of room here. This is Nickel, the big ruckman. The kick low. Hargraves grabbed, didn't have the football. Should take the free kick. It's not there. I don't believe it.
The umpire looks as if he was going to pay it, Robbo.
Anderson's kick was too high for his teammate on centre wing. It's taken now by Rowan Smith. Smith on the centre wing area, outer side. Kick floats. And a terrific mark is taken there for Beveridge for Footscray at centre half forward. Kicks into the man on the mark. Ball spills now. North Melbourne will get clear. The hand pass came from Harton to John. The kick wide. Capuano's got it. He can give it over the top. Beautiful running provided by Mark Stevens. Can get the hand pass back to Capuano quickly. Blocked. Peter German. Short pass okay. Mark is taken for North Melbourne by Scholl.
Well, they nearly lost it through. Not such a good handball from Capuano. They got away with it. And an intelligent play there by German to find someone in a better position in Scholl.
Well, if Scholl kicks this goal, puts North Melbourne back in front, and you would think the lead must have changed at least half a dozen times in this second term. It is a goal to Scholl. So Brad Scholl's first goal gets the lead back for the Kangaroos by 4 points.
Yes, and Capuano, who featured in that with the handball, just limping at centre half forward. Well, the problem is, we see here, Mark Stevens, the player, to receive that handball from Capuano, which wasn't good, but they got away with it. And then clever play there by German to set up his teammate.
Brad Scholl, whose brother Craig plays in the seniors. North by 4 points, just over a minute for the long break. John faces Darcy, John wins, and it comes back to him too. His hand pass goes out wide to Dwyer. Back he comes to Anderson, good build of a boy. Standing start kick, centre half forward, and Capuano is going particularly well for North. That's 7 marks he's taken, and coming up for his 9th kick. All in the first half.
Yes, he's taken most of those marks in the second quarter too, Drew. Just really asserting himself on this game. And his opponent, Nickel, just can't keep up with him at the moment. Steve McPherson and Scholl having a bit of a disagreement.
Capuano, beautiful build of a boy, 6 feet 5, 19 years of age. Taking a longer run than Dennis Lilly. Will kick from 50 metres out. And has kicked it into the stratosphere. Hopefully straight for him, but just offline.
Just watching Steve McPherson there with Brad Scholl, and off the football as Matthew Capuano to take his shot for goal. And Steve will be Steve. This is Corcoran for Footscray to kick it back into play. We're close to half-time in this grand final of the reserves competition. Marcus taken out there by Gareth John, but a free kick has been paid to Capuano, being held onto, according to the umpire. And the siren does sound as the ball is in flight. So there is a dust-up too between two boys just off to the right there. One is Churchill, and the other one looks like it could be Barnett. But at half-time, as players have a bit of a scuffle in this reserve grade grand final, North Melbourne lead by 5 points there, 9-11, Footscray and 9-6.
Well, it was a terrific second quarter where the lead just bounced from one team to the other, and it's very difficult at this stage to pick a winner. Totally unlike the matches in the last couple of weeks. 2 weeks ago, North flogged Footscray in the second semi by 57 points, and last week Footscray won the preliminary final by 123. But they're level today, and just 5 points separating them. Pretty hard to pick a winner here. There, the Geelong players ready for the seniors grand final later this afternoon out on the ground. Mark Bairstow, the skipper, on the left. Another West Australian, Roscoe. And they're playing the West Australians, the West Coast Eagles. There's Malcolm Blight, a South Australian. So put up your hand if you're a Victorian here today. North Melbourne 9-11-65, Footscray 9-6-60.
The biggest match of the year, the AFL Grand Final.
Welcome back to the MCG for the start of the second half of the Reserves Grand Final, and Darcy gets a big hit out of the middle for Footscray. And Allen further up towards the 50. Here's Lane, off the right boot, 45 metres out. How's this for a quick start? But he's offline with his kick, and a behind narrows the margin to 4 points, North in front. North Melbourne bench. Nice haircut in the foreground.
4 points is the margin in favour of North Melbourne. The kick in towards centre-half back. Anderson, Beveridge tries to bash it clear. Now the opportunity for North Melbourne to clear. Out towards centre wing. And Mark, low down on the ground, taken by Dwyer. Dwyer's kicking towards centre-half forward. Punched away for North Melbourne. Still at centre-half forward for that team. Smith gets the handball back to McPherson. McPherson's kick across his left shoulder. Short. Kellett can't take the mark. Is that a free kick? Yes. And it's been awarded against Adam Simpson. Play on. Simpson will get it back. No, this is Anderson for North Melbourne. He's kicked towards full forward, and the mark is taken for North Melbourne by Troy Colac.
Interesting decision by the umpire there too, Robbo. You've obviously given the advantage to Footscray because Kellett was given the free kick for a push, but the Footscray player really, I didn't think was in that much of an advantaged area, so they're going to result in a shot at goal.
Well, some of the decisions that are given by the umpires in those circumstances can be questionable, but certainly not from North Melbourne's point of view, because Colac has the chance to bring up his second goal for the game and give North Melbourne their greatest advantage, I would feel, in this game. His kick is, well, a pretty ordinary one under the circumstances, and it registers just one behind.
Yeah, just as he comes through the ball, he gives it a real wrench at the bottom of his follow-through, and that causes the ball to go from left to right as a left footer, so he'd have to try and straighten that up.
Footscray moving out of defence. Brad Nicholson out to the 50, taken by Brad Johnson. Two young Brads with a bright future ahead. Cross the face of goal to Churchill. The ball just carried to him in time. Churchill goes for a bit of distance. Only to half-back flank, not a very long kick. Kellett to Footscray, grabbed by Scholl of North Melbourne. Good hand pass. Here they go. The hand pass out to Polak. He walks up to the 50, doesn't reach it, goes for the goal line, and at last Hargrave. No, it's Darcy. I'll try again. Capuano. And Capuano, who has now taken his 8th mark.
Started slowly through in the first term, but really asserted himself in that second one, didn't he, Robbo? And particularly his opponent, number 54, Footscray, having all sorts of trouble here. And Capuano came from about 15 minutes behind on that occasion to get that mark. Good kick though from Polak.
North lead by 5 points. Now by 11.
The Mobile Millions prizes keep rolling out because the winners keep winning. It's so easy. Just scratch your ticket to win instantly. Win the new Ford Falcon GLI, up to $1,000 of free fuel, plus over 2 million consolation prizes. But if you don't win instantly, your ticket goes into the second chance draw. And every week there's yet another new Falcon to be won. In all, there's a winner about every 2 seconds with Mobile Millions.
Well, very important for Footscray to make sure that they answer that goal. Kicked by Capuano in the centre of the ground. A struggle for possession. North Melbourne doing well in that contest. Brett Harton, who obviously loves to get in after that hard ball. Looks quite clear the congestion, and the umpire will bounce. And three of the superstars in the West Coast Eagles lineup, Matera, Jakovic and McIntosh. Anderson bashes the ball clear. John can't quite get an effective tap to it. Still at school. Now this is Allen. He's grabbed, but gets his kick away. Up towards full forward. Del Rey gathers. Ball's over. Critical. Ball nearly taken there by Harton, is it? Back there at centre-half back.
Stevens, I think, might be Robbo.
Stevens, maybe, and Danny Del Rey.
And Del Rey had no help there, too. It was 3-on-1, and Footscray forward just took so long to get there and help him.
10-12 plays 9-7 early in the third quarter. Big punch away there by Stevens, gathered by Atkins, back to McPherson. McPherson's kick to the square, punched away by DeManiel, gathered there by Brebner. Brebner's kick is wide and it's out on the full, so the free kick for Footscray to be taken by Brad Johnson. Young Mark Brebner was picked in the under-18 All-Star team. So doing well, playing in the reserves here. Good mark taken by Dwyer. Gets it away quickly. Stevens, under a bit of pressure, kicks it down towards the wing. Attempted gather there by Harton. Gets it back again. Handball to Scholl. North Melbourne surging forward. The kick towards half forward. Not taken there by Polak. Gatherers by Nicholson. And does it nicely in the finish. Kicks it about 35 metres closer to the Footscray goal. And it goes over for a throw-in. Footscray's bench. One of those boys in the middle there, Whelan. The one at the far end is Anthony Darcy. And the player nearest to us can't pick him up, but I don't think he's taken his place on the side, on the ground at this stage. So Footscray using their bench sparingly. Anthony Darcy came off in the second quarter.
Luke Darcy with a kick towards centre-half forward. Anderson goes off the ground for North. McPherson leads the race back for it. Oh, solid bump. Down goes Super McPherson, not feeling too super. In fact, the bloke he hit is twice his size. Not coming up too well. Capuano.
Yes, the other bloke on the bench there was Duonomir Suto. I trust we got that right.
Zavonomir, everybody's been... Terry Wheeler gave me Zavonomir last week.
Well, he'd know.
Croatian from St Albans. North's lead is 11 points at the moment. Their biggest lead in the game has been 12, and Footscray's biggest lead has been 9, and there have been 9 changes of the lead. A lot of players around this baller. Punch out by Smith, fairly fortuitous. Goes to Johnson. His kick to centre half forward. And that was Pseudo flying for that. He's got the ponytail. 51, there he is. Plucked off the ground there by Simpson. McPherson for Footscray. Gets good run from Smith. Kicked a ripper goal earlier in the game. This is a ripper hand pass. Beveridge can't break the tackle. Gets the hand pass away. Short of Allen. Anderson did well. Goes to German. His kick to centre wing. John is there. Comes from behind. No mark. On the ground. Corcoran. Atkins. I think Footscray with a bit of a breeze in this quarter, but Atkins didn't have time to get it to his boot. Knocks the ball in to Johnson. Gee, they're under pressure. Corcoran. Back he goes. And the kick by Darcy. Darcy towards half forward, and that mark is going to be paid to Pseudo. I think we'll just stick with the surname, Pseudo. He's going to kick from about 50 metres out, and a fine cut of the lad is young Pseudo, 51, his number, for Footscray. St Albans, a fairly strong recruiting area for Footscray Football Club. He's kicked to the square, and a free kick is going to North Melbourne in the square. So again, Ross, the advantage of having three umpires, that umpire was way back there in the middle of the action.
Yes, the Footscray player went for a jump rubber and just pushed the players in the back.
Little nudge out there by Rowan Smith, but everything given the all clear by the umpire. So the mark is awarded to Rowan Smith. He's 50 metres from goal. The Bulldogs 9-7, trail North Melbourne 10-12, and we're pretty well halfway through this third quarter. Smith, usually a very long kick of the football. This is no exception. Lands in the square. Is the mark paid at the back to Muir? No, it's a rush behind, awarded to Footscray.
Apologies to Pseudo there, naming him on the bench. Paul Satley is the player sitting down there.
Kick by Anderson. Nearly a clever mark to Kelly. In the back, be a North free kick. To Harton. Well, I think it is. But Brett Harton will take it on the supplementary list for North. Our mate Savonimir Pseudo is not even a supplementary. He's an add-on player. McPherson.
Yeah, taken high initially. We'll get the free.
Still calling for it. Yes, it's yours, mate.
9-5 for McPherson. And a couple of goals.
Cross to the far side of the ground. Darcy takes the mark. And runs away from John. Off the left he goes. Very wide. Pseudo leaves it. Hargraves mark. Well, it's been a long time between drinks for Daniel Hargraves.
Often happens, Drew, doesn't it? Players have a blinder one week, particularly in goal-kicking terms, kicking 9s, 10s or 11s, and then they just drop away. Part of the reason why sometimes players spend a good deal of time in the reserves because their concentration levels drop away, and so they tend to be very in and out with their performance.
11 goals last week, 69 for the season. He kicks from 50 and hooks it. For a behind. And Gareth John there on the bench. Well, it's great to see him even playing football after that neck injury that he had years ago when he was playing for the Swans. It was in 1991 when he was collected by Simon Madden. And let's hope they're not working on his neck there. We'd hate to see any repetition of that. De Manuel for North goes towards the outer side. Big climb at the back by German. Grabbed by Johnson. Atkins. In he comes. Good gather by Danny Delray. Running out of room. His left footer, a centering kick. West at the back climbs. Can't take the mark. Socket away by De Manuel for the safety of the boundary line. And we'll have a throw in. 9 points the difference. North Melbourne in front. And we're midway through the third quarter in the reserves grand final. Terry Wallace, coach of Footscray Reserve. John Law coaching North Melbourne.
Boundary throw in the right forward pocket for the Bulldogs. Kicked away by Harton. And eventually helped over the boundary line there by Anthony Dwyer for a boundary throw in. Still within scoring distance for the Bulldogs. They trail 9-9 to 10-12. And Suto doing the ruck work for Footscray. Gets it to the back, but it's advantage there for Peter German. He runs away from centre half back after two bounces. Kicks towards half forward. Looks for Capuano. Missing it there was Nickel. Nearly gathering there is Danilchenko, but it's Johnson. The little kick by Brad Johnson was very good. Saw McPherson, planted it in his direction. The left foot kick by McPherson has been marked by Darcy. Long hand pass by that player. This is Allen. Short pass by Allen to full forward. Dropped by Del Rey. Tackle. Ball spilled. Stevens. This is Sudo. The kick by that player. He hooks it across his right shoulder, but not quite far enough. And it goes through for one behind to the Bulldogs.
Good lead up by Footscray there, and the kick coming into Del Rey just at his feet. He couldn't hang on to it well enough.
North Melbourne lead by 8 points as Danny Del Rey has kicked 2 goals for Footscray in this match.
Just 4 behind for Footscray in this quarter, and that's what they did at the start of the game in the first quarter. And they do have a bit of a breeze, so they'd be looking to get it straight.
Kick in has been marked by Geester. His kick down towards the wing, and an excellent mark taken for North Melbourne by Simpson. New left footers in this North Melbourne reserve competition. Or rush of 4 players. They all go to the ground. Dwyer, but well done there for Footscray. Forcing it clear with Satley. Now it's Kellett. Kellett's kick in towards full forward. High flyers. No one can take the mark. It's rebound. Muir gets it back towards the centre of the ground. Polak handball to no one in particular. The bounce all important. And it favours German. Well, he made it for himself, Peter German. Then kicks across his left shoulder towards half forward. No mark, but Barnett, his recovery brilliant. He goes for goal with that left foot. It's a lovely long kick back towards the goal front. Sir gives away behind. No, he's a lousy player as Sir. And now Corcoran eventually runs it over for a rush behind to North Melbourne.
And you read that the nicest possible way, Robbo, didn't you?
Miserly, I should have said.
Miserly, that's it.
9 points is North Melbourne's advantage.
So that Sir comes out of defence, and there's Darcy to take the mark. With John off the ground, a bit of an advantage, you'd say, for Footscray at the moment. A spin out of trouble there for Nicholls, and away they go again. At full stretch, Hargraves couldn't take the mark. Johnson overruns. DeMamiel for North Melbourne, number 19. Runs into a brick wall. McPherson, the one-glove man.
Well, give a little bit of a rap there to DeMamiel. I thought he was
on the footy, didn't he?
Well, he was fair dinkum in his attack on it.
Just backed himself from full back, ran right away from Danny Del Rey. John on screen.
Career been revived by this move to North Melbourne, but he was given only 1 senior game this year by North after that neck injury threatened to end his career when he was at the Swans. Here's Beveridge. Little round the corner one. Johnson comes from behind. It's foil. Illegally, said the umpire.
I think he's played the mark actually through to Danilchenko.
Did well to get back.
Yep.
Jason Danilchenko. Short of centre wing with his kick.
Free kick, pushing the back. Going to Polak.
So North starting to get a few free kicks, catching up a bit. 16 to 10.
Polak is just behind the wing. His kick goes in towards half forward. Barnett, bounce awkward, gathered by Atkins, gets the hand pass away. Darcy is on the end of it. Darcy's kick. Player on his own there is Johnson for Footscray. Bulldogs mounting an attack here. They must be able to convert here. Corcoran's kick towards full forward. Covers the players back there. And eventually, I would feel that that player Adam Simpson would be quite content with allowing Footscray behind, a rushed one in that case, and John Law.
A couple of rush behinds, and there's 5 behind for this quarter. Oh, gee, that kick hasn't cleared the area. Here's Tyson Lane, a very high ball to the goal square, and a mark to Anderson. His kick out close to the boundary line. Scholl, advantage paid. He's kicked the centre wing. And Nicol takes the mark. Back to Atkins. Short pass. Satterley marks. Kellett going past. A bit cornered. Off the side of the boot. Too wide for Del Rey. Ball out of play.
That's all you need. Just a bit of pressure there to put the player kicking the ball or handballing, kicking on this occasion. Just under that bit of pressure so the kick goes off the side of the boot.
8 points to the margin in favour of North Melbourne. Boundary thrown in the right forward pocket for Footscray. Up high with Sudo. Ball comes back to Hart. He can't break clear. Oh, good strong tackle applied by Muir. Down goes Allen. Now Anderson made clear for North Melbourne. He kicks across the face of goal and bounces over for a throw in the left forward pocket for Footscray, about 30 metres around from their goal. Kicked 5 behind Footscray in this third quarter. North Melbourne have kicked 1 goal, 2 pseudo, but it's smashed away. Back towards Campbell, but the bounce favours Danilchenko, and it zips nicely for that player. He's able to run away from half-back and kick towards half-forward. Is that a push? Yes. Fairly blatant. And it's against Anthony Dwyer. He's not terribly subtle. He's taken by Nicholson. He looks like Twinkle Toes, doesn't he, father? Yeah, all the sons do.
Half-back to half-forward. And the mark taken by Scholl. Horsham boys originally.
Played well. He's had 18 possessions.
Here's the mark to Capuano, who continues to go particularly well. That's 9 marks and 13 kicks now. North Melbourne working into attack. Footscray desperate in defence. McPherson, well, the one glove didn't grab that one. Here he is again for a second chance. Goes for the boundary line. How does the umpire view that?
Well, it was good effort in the first place by Sadat to help his teammate and then dive back onto the ball after trying to affect the Shepherd. And Robbo, you thought that was deliberate.
Well, Steve, you were lucky.
He saw the white line and went straight for it.
He did. Well, the boundary throw-in takes place, and this is Scholl again, playing a terrific game for North Melbourne. Gets it to Barnett. Barnett transfers play magnificently to the front of the goal. And Dwyer will have a straightforward shot from here.
It was a very clever play because obviously his teammate in Dwyer knew the ball was going to come to the square because Dwyer had his back to the ball as it was kicked running down to the square. I don't know if we can pick this up. He just turns around now knowing the kick was going to come to that area. So good disciplined play.
So surely Anthony Dwyer will kick his first goal in this grand final and give North Melbourne a handy break. Getting close to three-quarter time. It's a goal kicked by Dwyer.
Trying to do yourself an injury, mate? Well, no, Mike, I was trying to save money by doing it myself. To save Big Ted, you need the new Mitre 10 Spring Project catalogue. The Makita cordless drill kits are only $99. Hill Sunline clotheslines just $65. Dow Corning silicons just $4.50 each, and the Victor standard mowers are just $399. What about the gate, Ted? Well, I'm just trying to save money, Mike. Yes, you can, Ted, with Mitre 10.
That's now the biggest margin in this game. North Melbourne by 14 points. McPherson. Great desire for the football. His kick out towards centre wing for Lane. Couldn't grab the half volley. And the ball out in front of the interchange bench. Simpson with him. And a boundary throw-in. Polak in ruck. Neither ruckman got a touch. Beveridge buried. High tackle, said the umpire, rather than in the back. Free kick anyway. Here he goes to Nicholson. Very high ball. The punch away. Well rowed by Satterley. Nobody in the goal square. What's this? It bounces straight across the face. And Del Rey can't keep it in. Now, if he'd centred that ball like North did at the other end, it could have been a different result.
Two crews. Danny Del Rey there in the picture. Boundary throw in, left forward pocket for Footscray. They trail by 14 points. The ball spills back towards the front of the Footscray goal, but it's taken away by Anderson. Eventually finishes now with Harton. Harton in the centre of the ground, kicks towards half forward. The ball rebounds. North Melbourne up towards full forward. The race is on here between Dwyer and Sir. And Sir quite happy to see it over for a boundary throw-in. Now, what's happening here?
This one is the boundary umpire.
A million miles behind it.
There's a bit going on up the other end. I'm not sure whether the boundary umpire was getting involved in that.
McPherson, a German.
Correct.
Capuano and Nickel. Capuano to the front of the goal. Taken away by Darcy. Tackle there by Scholl. Robbed of it by Dwyer. Dwyer throws it on his boot. Kicked away by Nichols, back towards the wing. And the mark is taken by Corcoran.
Shannon Corcoran. Atkins at centre-half back. Mark's just in front of Harton, who will not let him go. And it's been the same all day. Out to McPherson. Footscray on the run. Gee, they badly need a goal. But still looking for their first in this quarter. Smith. Delray. That's a mark. Oh, I reckon that's a mark.
I'll tell you what, it was a split second, Drew. I reckon another second it would have been played, but I think Emmanuel may have just got back there in time. I know it's one of those ones that the grey area.
Oh, well, maybe I'm wrong, because Danny Delray didn't kick up much of a fuss.
So why did they get the free kick here then? It's exactly the same situation.
And here's this one on the goal square. What do you think?
It's just...
Oh, dead.
Well, actually, did it come through his hands anyway?
Well, North Melbourne have got the ball at their half-forward area. This is Scholl. Kick towards full forward. Rebounds back. Nearly gathered by Atkins. A little tap there was very vital by Bradshaw. Now a struggle for possession at centre-half forward for North Melbourne. No one can do very much with that football. Shannon Corcoran brings it up. And
that's a mark 3 times over.
Well, it's only registered as a behind for Footscray. And the ball at half forward for North Melbourne. Oh, Johnson was good there. Went after it, but his kick was smothered off the boot. Atkins productively wide for McPherson. McPherson, the left back point of the square. His kick goes through the players at half forward. Gatherers by Allen. He runs away from Anderson. Off the left foot. Allen in towards full forward. North Melbourne do well. Gets back there to defend Grandley. And Bremner takes it over. And the umpire gives the all clear for a throw-in.
That was Adam Simpson who came back with a lot of courage to get in that way there and got a hand to it and forced over the line. Bremner on screen.
In this quarter, North Melbourne 2 goals, 2. Footscray 6 behind. Desperately looking for a goal, the Bulldogs. Will it come here? Kill it. Surely. He gets his second.
Going up. First floor. Menswear, women's
Get the age and you could win $10,000 cash deposited into a National Visa or MasterCard, plus enough Flightwise points for 2 return interstate airfares.
Fourth floor. Cosmetics, hosiery and fashion.
With $10,000 to spend,
Fifth floor.
you won't know where to start.
Bridal wear and lingerie.
Details in tomorrow's Age.
So 7 points is the margin for North Melbourne. Time remaining in the third quarter. 1 minute 40 seconds. Very important set-up break. It's taken by German. His kick goes towards full forward. Coming through strongly was Rube. Oh, rebound. Dwyer. Tackled by Nicholson, but Dwyer kicks the goal. Anthony Dwyer kicks his second goal, and North Melbourne answer very, very quickly. Took Footscray the best part of the third quarter to get their first goal for this term. But quickly Anthony Dwyer gets his second goal, and North Melbourne go back to a 13-point advantage.
It's interesting, the last 2 goals scored, one by Callett, now by Dwyer. They were both opponents for some part of this game, now both in their respective forward lines. Dwyer just seems to be suffering a little. That's why he's down in that pocket.
Luke Darcy wins a big hit out. Campbell for North Melbourne. 85 to 72, North by 13 points. Punch from behind comes down to Danilchenko. They whip it out of there, but it's grabbed by Churchill. Hurry kick to McPherson. He's got a bit of space there, McPherson. Sweeping hand pass into Corcoran. Oh, awkward hard volley, and he's buried by Campbell. But
Too high, too. Steve McPherson really was too team-oriented there. He perhaps could have got the ball further quickly up the field with a kick.
Their only goal for the quarter was a bit of selfishness. Maybe that's the way to go. Darcy over to Kellett. Here he goes again. Do it again, son. Beats 1, beats 2, maybe 3. Short pass, didn't go 10. Sadly, the hand pass back to Kellett. Eventually, a shot for goal by Allen, and it looks good. Scott Allen and Footscray definitely still a chance.
Yes, well, Scott Allen shows a bit. He's played 5 in the seniors. He's a former Big Country Shield Cup prep in 92, and Kellett trying to do it all on his own again, as Drew mentioned. That kick that sadly didn't go far enough. Play on call came, but Allen just a little bit of time to look and steady. kicked it very well.
Back to 7 points the margin. Scott Allen pretty happy about the goal that he kicked for Footscray. That's his first. Darcy getting his fist to the ball. Anderson strong in defence. Can't break clear. Danilchenko can't break clear. Tries to throw his foot at it. Beveridge gets it back to Corcoran. Footscray into attack in the dying seconds of the third term. Can Del Rey break clear of Demamiel? Tries hard, gets back onto the right foot, gives the hand pass to Atkins, over the top, and the goal will be kicked by Lane.
And there were 2 seconds left on the clock when he kicked it, and there's a fight.
Yes, Lane wasn't happy the way the Manuel just bumped him after he kicked the goal. And he sort of lucked it won't develop any further than necessary. The important couple of goals have been this last minute. Footscray.
Well, it's just a point the difference that as soon as they take the ball back to the centre, we would expect the siren to sound. Danny Del Rey was pretty good here in this passage of play.
Yeah, just keeping control of the footy and Demamiel at bay at the same time. And Atkins saw that Lane was free and then, just teased Demamiel to Tyson Lane.
Good headlock. They're good at that, Footscray. Well, back into the centre for a bounce. Play will last about 1 second after this bounce. Footscray went about 20 minutes without being able to manage a goal, and they kicked 3 in the last couple of minutes there, just before three-quarter time. Points the difference at the last change.
Becker, Lendl, Ivanisevic, 3 of the superstars in the Australian Indoor Tennis Championships. Coming soon on 7.
A big finish to the third quarter for Footscray with 3 goals in the last 2 minutes, and they got to within a point, trailed 12-13 to 12 goals 12. For North Melbourne, the leading goal scorers are Dwyer, 2 goals in that quarter. German and Capuano and Lockhead all have 2 goals, and Footscray, many of them have 2 goals. Kellis, Del Rey, McPherson and Lane. A point the difference going into the last quarter. Now, what about the competition for the Mark of the Year? The players have a chance to win the Mark of the Year. A viewer has a chance to win a car.
The 7 Sports Mitsubishi Mark of the Year. Your phone vote could win you a Magna V6 Executive. Just dial the phone number you wish to vote for. Mark 1, Tony Modra, Adelaide. Mark 2, Gary Ablett, Geelong. Mark 3, James Cook, Carlton. Mark 4, Ashley McIntosh, West Coast. Mark 5, John Barnes, Geelong.
So there are the phone numbers for the players, depending on whom you wish to vote for. All calls will register a vote for the player, but at random you may be asked to give your name and phone number and be in with a chance to win that magnificent Mitsubishi Magna. Voting closes at 4 o'clock Eastern this afternoon. If you don't get through the first time, try again. Matthew Campbell standing by on the boundary line.
Thanks very much, Drew, and the best part about playing in a reserves premiership is the atmosphere in the last quarter. There's about 70 or 80,000 people here who are getting toey for the big game, and we've got a perfect curtain raiser for them with only 1 point the difference, so it's going to come down to a real crackerjack final. And I think maybe if McPherson and Atkins and some of the senior players can handle this last quarter pressure, then I think Footscray can pull it off.
And Matt, you speak from experience. You did that with the Brisbane Bears?
No, I had a big night the night before. I had a hangover watching that game.
Did you? Well, certainly the crowd is building up here. And there we are from the top of the Regent Hotel across Flinders Park, the National Tennis Centre, into the bowl, which is the MCG. And what a reserves grand final we have here. A point the difference going into the last quarter.
Will certainly be an exciting few minutes for the people that are involved with these two teams. The bounce at the centre. Who can clear the congestion? Beveridge is taken to the ground.
Going to get a free kick for too high.
It was a bit high. Yes, it is a free kick to Beveridge. Quite see the umpire indicating that it was going to the left. 13 possessions to that player. Oh, geez, that was a brave effort by Simpson. Kick off the ground affected by Darcy. German just safely over for a throw-in in the right forward pocket for the Bulldogs. Peter German, 17 possessions and 2 goals against his name. That's North Melbourne. Well, they're in front at this stage, but Footscray came over the top of them in the latter part of the third term. Beveridge tries to get through, gets it to Kellett, who was instrumental in Footscray's surges. His kick has been marked, well marked by Satterley. So Paul Satterley, who on the bench for a fair bit, Roscoe.
Yes, just after we named him on the bench, after we got him confused, or I got him confused with Suto, how I did that, I'm not too sure, because they're slightly different in looks. He came on to replace Robbie West and has started again in this last quarter.
Fresh face, Paul Satterley kicks for goal and puts it through for a Footscray goal. So his first goal gives Footscray the lead in the early part of the last quarter of the VSFL Grand Final. The Bulldogs lead by 5 points.
Well, he's played about 49 reserves games, has Sadly, having come from Williamstown Juniors. And here, Beveridge feeding it out to Kellett. He didn't want to give it back to Beveridge, even though he's in a bit of trouble. In the end, the kick was effective because it found the front of the square, and Sadly an easy chest mark in the end. Ian Bradford just getting tied up there.
Well, at one stage, North Melbourne led by 14 points, but Footscray has certainly come back late in the third quarter and at the start of the last and lead by 5 points. Another ball up on the cricket pitch area. Peter German limps away, looking as though he's moving too freely. Good to see Gareth John back on the ground for North Melbourne. Atkins in there and Harton hasn't been too far away all day. Harton at ground level will be the last up. Brett Harton, a supplementary list, came from the Eastern under-18.
Well, he's done the hard work running with Atkins, and then they've allowed Peter German, who's been around that centre area as well, to run forward, to be the creator in that contest.
John uncontested, but he got it straight to Atkins, which wasn't his plan. Chance here for Footscray. Beveridge, well done, spinning out of trouble. Little pass is good. Here's Zavonimir Suto, 40 metres out, goes for goal, not bad! A goal!
Great kick.
How was the second honeymoon? Unbelievable. Day one, David's getting breakfast. Next thing, he's standing on the bed wearing nothing but the tray. Hey, right. He trips, wrecks his knee, and we've got scrambled eggs from here to the Gold Coast. Luckily, we've got Aussie Car Assist with the comprehensive insurance. They brought us back home from Queensland, and they brought the car back.
Aussie Assist sounds expensive.
That's free.
Well, what sort of insurance company does that?
RACV Insurance. It's not just another insurance company.
G'day, Romeo.
You had
And Footscray kicked 5 of the last 6 goals.
So the Bullies going quite nicely in the early part of the last quarter. North Melbourne forced it clear, but it's Anthony Darcy's hand pass, not quite far enough. Harton tries to get it clear, Scraggs, but it's Peter German for North Melbourne. Kicking with the left foot in towards centre half forward. No mark. Gathered by Capuano. Handball to Scholl. Smother off the boot. Brilliant by Churchill. Nickel gets it back. Rowan Smith's left foot kick. Close to the boundary line. The mark has been taken by Johnson. Johnson plays on quickly. Kicks it towards the wing. Getting rid of his opponent. Gathering the ball is Lane. Lane's kick. Close to the line. It's over on the full, is it? Umpire a long way behind it, so the mark awarded to Satterley. Satterley's kick in towards half forward. It's punched away, back towards the centre of the ground. Corcoran. Gathered now by Muir. Muir's kick in towards half forward for North Melbourne. Dwyer, but it's gathered by Nickel for Footscray. Good kick by Nickel. Out in front of Johnson. Can he gather it? No, it goes over for a boundary throw-in. Danilchenko a little late there on the scene, and the boundary umpire will throw it in.
Brad Johnson there, number 33. He was Footscray's number 1 pick in the draft last November. Channel 7 televised that day. A lifelong Footscray supporter, and he nearly cried tears of joy that day. It was great to see.
That was well done. Darcy. Left foot kick by Darcy towards centre half forward. Sudo, now a strong mark in front, is taken by Stevens.
Centre half back for North. Up to half forward. Punch away by Nickel from Capuano. Well done. Gets the hand pass to McPherson. His kick a bit low, but just gets up there to Satterley. Floats one over the top. Having to wait Allen. Back to Satterley. Now a good hand pass. Kellett draws the man, but it was partly blocked. It was blocked. Satterley again from the boundary line. And Del Rey marks and goal. Boy, you'd like to be on Footscray all of a sudden.
Well, going to that three-quarter time breakthrough, they did have the momentum, and you mentioned the number of goals they kicked on the trot. They followed up in this last quarter. David Dwyer, Anthony Dwyer had to come from the field. Obviously got some problems with the groin, I think, and he's been replaced by Travis Rugg. Full credit to young Sattler there.
Yeah.
Just he's done a couple of good things since he's come on.
Well, Demamiel was a bit unlucky. He did block the hand pass and just slipped behind him.
So all of a sudden, the lead now with Footscray. Can North Melbourne get back into this game? German. Quick kick by Peter German. The ball spilled. Barnett. Hand pass. Brilliant. Goes wide. Scholes can't break clear. Well done by Churchill again.
Been terrific, hasn't he?
My word, a couple of things that he's done back there across that half-back line, and he gets a pat of acclamation from number 50, Andrew Nicol, who's done equally as well at centre-half-back, matching up on Capuano.
We'll fight them on the flanks and we'll fight them in the pockets.
Trent Churchill for Footscray. Here he goes. He gets it clear. Johnson again from left half-back. Brad Johnson runs up to the wing. 3 bounces. He's fourth. A handball, unselfishly. Another goal coming up for Footscray. Scott Allen's kick. Ball short. Delray's a chance. A little tap. Sattly. Left foot snap by that player goes across the face and out of bounds in the right forward pocket for the Bulldogs.
Well, he had to have a shot at goal there, Robbo, didn't he? He had no other option. There was no one in the square to try and kick to.
17 points is the advantage for Footscray. Still plenty of time, but the momentum certainly with the Bulldogs. German dragged off the football. Gareth John punched forward. Now the chances for Anderson. Hand pass for German. Dragged to the ground. Important for Denelchenko. Just gets his left foot to it. Gatherers by Barnett. Tries to get the hand pass. Then does so. German's kick a little lackadaisical. Footscray very hard here. Nicholson gets it to Corcoran, then Johnson. Johnson's kick towards full forward. Suto can't take the mark. Very important there. Number 43 for North Melbourne just getting his hand to it. There's wind, but it spills now for Callan. Little kick for goal by Callan. Goes across the face. Through for one behind. So the advantage now for Footscray is 3 goals. Nigel Callan has kicked 2 goals, 1. It was very important for Footscray in the third quarter. Demamiel's kick in. Been marked out there by Suto.
He's doing all right since he came off the bench. Into McPherson. Hand pass goes wide. On the bounce it goes to Kellett, who taps back to McPherson. Gets rid of his kick. Dropped in a bit short. Straight back onto the chest of Kellett.
That was Paul Wind who kicked it. He's the younger brother of Scotty Wind of Footscray, so playing in opposite teams to his older brother.
Nigel Kellett going well back from the man on the mark. Surely he's too far out to score. Man on the mark, 55 metres. He's looking for something up forward. And gets it in Delray, but he slipped down, and Demamiel took the mark. And he certainly hasn't been disgraced. Delray kicked 9 last week, just 3 today. And Demamiel, the kick up towards the centre of the ground. Corcoran. Kellett, Beveridge. Plenty of senior experience, those 3. Beveridge loses it, though, to Denelchenko. Long, high kick. Didn't really look. Corcoran juggles. Can't take the mark.
Gee,
Winston. Thought it was a mark.
Whoa, goodness me.
Ball out.
It's a bit tough, isn't it?
Well, he showed courage to go back to get the ball. He wanted it. I thought he juggled it 2 or 3 times, which is long enough to be played the mark. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Obviously, the umpire may be considering there that the North Melbourne player might have got a bend in there somewhere else. Which is the only explanation. The crowd gathering here at the MCG in fairly well ideal conditions, so you should see a terrific game later on. But in this game here, North Melbourne fighting it out. Scholl goes in towards full forward. The ball spills out towards the boundary line. Chance again for Scholl, can't control it. And the umpire will have to throw it in about 45 metres around from the North Melbourne goal. They trail by 18 points, the North Melbourne reserves. Footscray are 15-13. North Melbourne are 12-13. remembering that North Melbourne led by 14 points late in the third term, and the Bulldogs have fought back meritoriously. Scholl tries to get it clear. Polak can't control the football. Atkins has got it underneath there somewhere, and he's going to be penalised. So Simon Atkins wouldn't be too happy with that, but the free kick for North Melbourne, and taken by Scholl. Capuano got his hands on it. He's going to be paid the mark. Well, there's not too much consistency when you see a boy out there on the wing in Corcoran juggle the mark, not paid, and here is Matthew Capuano. Let's have another look, Ross.
Well, again, there's no more hand in that than there was on the other side. That was the reason why the umpire didn't pay it to Corcoran. And that's the grey area. You've got three different people trying to interpret a mark, which is very much open to interpretation. The ball must be held for a period of time. How long that period of time is up to the discretion of the umpire.
Very important possession for Capuano. He shot for goal as a shocker, and he kicked the point. 2 goals, 2 to Matthew Capuano when North Melbourne badly needed a goal. We've got 11 and a half minutes left in the grand final of the VSFL. Footscray lead by 17 points.
North Melbourne, minor premiers, won the second semi-final 2 weeks ago, lost the grand final last year. So they've got plenty of incentive to get up and come from behind and win this. Oh, it's bobbled down there by Nicholson. Atkins, the hand pass almost blind, but found a teammate. Comes out wide to Johnson. Steve McPherson is left-footed to centre-half forward. There's Suto. Punch from behind was good. Lane, 40 metres out Tyson Lane. Little hand pass back to Kellett. He balks a hand pass. Was it a throw to Lane? He skirts around Anderson, goes for goal. Good kick, another one.
If you'd like to take out a home loan, but you're nervous about interest rates, forget it. If you're worried about unexpected hikes in your repayments, forget it. Right now, Challenge Bank can offer you an attractive rate that can't go up, because this new low rate is set in concrete for the next 2 years. We can even arrange no establishment fees. Now that ought to smooth away any worries you might have. See Challenge Bank now for a home loan rate that can't go up, because it's set in concrete for 2 years.
16-13 plays 12-14. Gareth John, but it's Atkins who gets his left foot to it. Not quite into the clear. And the mark taken by Anderson. Gets the handball to German. German from between centre-half back in the centre of the ground. The kick to half-forward. McPherson for Footscray. The hand pass wide for Johnson. Johnson at left half-back. The kick is okay. Man on his own on centre wing is Luke Darcy. Darcy's kick towards half-forward. Footscray outnumber. But strong in defence is Stevens for North Melbourne. Kicks down towards the wing. Daniel Chico goes after the football, but it's Gareth John. Campbell over the top. Looks for Scholl. Scholl just gets an effective touch to his own advantage. Then goes long to the square. No one home for North Melbourne. And a safe mark taken back there by Rowan Smith. Hand pass to Churchill. Churchill's short kick to the advantage there of Sir. May not sit for him. Difficult one for Sir. He's tackled. Ball spills now for Anderson. Anderson can kick it in towards the centre of the ground. The player on his own is Polak. He's asked to play on. Onto his favoured left foot. Tries to get past, succeeds in doing so. Then kicks towards full forward. Again, there's no one back there. And Footscray will clear quite effectively. This is Anthony Darcy, and his kick finds Churchill.
Churchill crunched over the boundary line as he got rid of his kick. Towards centre wing. And a very nice mark taken by Simpson. He plays on a centering kick. Campbell. Now, North Melbourne, the way the flags are going, it's where they are going with the breeze, and they've managed just one behind in this last quarter, while Footscray have kicked 4 goals, 1. Same thing happened in the previous quarter when Footscray went nearly the whole quarter without getting a goal with the breeze, so-called breeze, and then they kicked 3 in the last 2 minutes. Not much in the breeze, really, but Campbell from 50 metres. Gee, he has missed by 20. Capuano can't take the mark, and the ball is out of play.
Pretty ordinary kick.
Well, there's no excuse for that because he's a very skillful player, is Warren Campbell, and had senior experience, and they would have looked for him to kick that goal to give them some chance of getting back into this game. But at the moment, all the running's with Footscray.
Getting a bit of a rev up there from one of his teammates. Here's Steve McPherson keeping the ball in, even though he goes out. Eventually, the ball goes out. Warren Campbell, of course, Roscoe, son of famous Basil Campbell.
Yes.
Well, Basil's probably watching over in Perth, huh?
I dare say, in fact, he may even have come over, Drew.
Well, half of Western Australia has made the trip.
Exactly.
Basil might have.
Gareth John gets his right fist to it. Back towards half forward. Beveridge does well. Gets it to Churchill. Churchill assesses the situation and kicks it wide. It advantages in the finish Scott Allen. Allen is at left half forward. The kick is pretty good. Into the front of the goal. Looking for Del Rey, but it will be cleared away by Muir. Tackled by Atkins. Hand pass not far enough. Del Rey knocks it forward. Kick off the ground again by Muir. Out in front of this player, Stevens. Chipping in, though. Johnson does well. And then kicks off the side of his right boot in towards centre half forward. Punched back. Kellett. Oh, very, very strong defence. Shown back there by Simpson, but it's Beveridge now. Beveridge for Footscray. In towards half forward. Muir couldn't take the mark. Del Rey handles the ball pretty well. Gets the hand pass back for Atkins. He's grabbed. Didn't have the football. Harton, the North Melbourne player. This is Beveridge for Footscray. Beveridge goes across the half-forward line, and a good, strong mark taken for the Bulldogs by Corcoran.
Well, in the end, it worked out to be a good option, Robbo. Even though at the time you thought, once you're going so wide for, but he had no one down in front of goal as he turned and looked that way, and he certainly wasn't able to kick the goal himself. But now he's allowed his team just to settle.
Short pass, and he finds Del Rey. So the experience of Footscray showing certainly in the last quarter, maybe in the last quarter of, or last period of the third quarter. Mickey Bolthouse looking fairly relaxed. Peter Carey in the foreground.
He must be an emergency for the seniors, not doing the game.
So this is Del Rey talking about experience. Atkins, McPherson. Atkins had something like 8 possessions in the third term. 12 and 11 for the game so far. Del Rey going for goal number 4. And he's a lovely kick for goal, Danny Del Rey. But on this occasion, he misses. 3 goals, 3. The Geelong group there. Bruce Nankervis off to the left, having his refreshing drink. 110 plays 86. So Footscray look as though they'll take the reserve grade premiership. They lead by 4 goals.
Simpson takes yet another one, but there's a free kick being given away. And it'll be taken by Danny Del Rey, who's kicked 3 goals free today. And Lane is also a 3-goal getter on the chest of Beveridge, and they're just using up the clock here with 6 minutes 20 remaining in the game.
Well,
and the margin 4 goals.
Intelligent thing to do, Drew, isn't it? I mean, you know you've got the ball in control, and the game's pretty well in your grasp now. So Beveridge and those senior players, and McPherson as well, just doing the right thing at the right time, just holding things up.
Luke Beveridge from 52 metres out, he gave it everything and came up short. Sudo in front of the pack. Here's Allen. Couldn't get boot the ball, rushed through by DeMamiel.
Perhaps an important rush behind because it now makes it the odd 25 points in favour of Footscray.
Terry Wallace looks as though he's going to coach a premiership side here, and you wouldn't be surprised if he got a senior job somewhere down the track.
Well, I'd like to think that, you know, the refreshing approach by the senior clubs in the AFL could have a look at that, because certainly done a pretty good job with the Bulldogs. This is Hart, kicks wide out to a vacant area between wing and left half forward. German couldn't quite get the hand pass before going across the line, so a boundary throw will take place.
And the coaching influence of Hawthorn is starting to become as pronounced as the Tom Hafey, Ron Barassi disciples. Those who came through the Hawthorn club, either coaching or assistant coaching.
Being shared around a bit, isn't it, Drew?
Well, we've got Peter Schwab at Richmond and Peter Russo at Melbourne. Rodney Eade at North Melbourne. So your point is well taken.
There's an opportunity perhaps for Gary Bacanara, who looks to want to get back into coaching in Perth and take over Subiaco and perhaps bring back some of the Hawthorn influences there.
Well, Peter German well tackled out there by Luke Beveridge, going nowhere, so the umpire will bounce. 5.5 minutes left in the VSFL Grand Final. Footscray lead by 25 points.
Gareth John up very high. Here's Beveridge. towards the boundary line, and we'll have a throw-in. So they're really using up the clock well here, Footscray. It was a burst in the last couple of minutes of the third quarter, and then dominating the last quarter. And fancy, at this stage, North Melbourne with the breeze have kicked us one behind in the last term. Beveridge drove John Brucknock. Good tackling sends Steve McPherson to the ground.
And Robbo, just interesting to note what each club would glean from a grand final win in the reserves. You want the younger players to come through and experience this level of football. You want it for the senior players to go out on a better note, or how does it actually work in clubs' favours?
Well, I think that you've got to develop young fellas, or guys like Nigel Kellett, who's had a bit of an injury-interrupted season. Fellas like, I've been impressed with Luke Darcy
and those players, and it also does as well give them a chance to run into pre-season with a good deal of confidence, on good form, having had a grand final win, and that stands to be a good step for the next year. Oh, my word.
Corcoran with the football, but a free kick has been awarded. It will be taken for North Melbourne by Peter German. You can see the 50-metre area there, which is Footscray's 50-metre zone. The thump back Atkins ever creative. Corcoran, Rowan Smith dragged down there by number 21, David Muir. Gets the ball back to Danilchenko. Danilchenko, left foot kick, hooks it. Not quite clear of the pack of players. Kicked clear by Hart. 50 metres from the North Melbourne goal, well, maybe a little bit further away than that. Corcoran takes it over for a boundary throw-in. Shannon Corcoran with 20 possessions. Yet to kick a goal, the leading goal kicker for Footscray. Well, there's two of them. Danny Del Rey's kicked 3. Tyson Lane has kicked 3.
Big stump up the ground, but McPherson's back there, getting possessions at will. Steve McPherson. Nicholson gives him a lead from the back pocket. Be run down by Campbell if he's not careful. He's up at centre wing. Atkins. Campbell kept going.
Campbell could really well have got the ball if he had the same effort when he chased play beforehand.
And Brad Nicholson socket that ball about 30 metres forward. He's come all the way from the back pocket and put it out in between wing and half forward. Well done by Nicholson. 8 senior games and played in a final with the seniors this year. Both these clubs made the final in the seniors. So maybe if they can glean something from the youngsters in the reserves, might just be the difference between being eliminated in the second or third week of finals in the seniors and going all the way.
Well, I don't think there's all that much between the top 8 or 11 teams in the seniors. I mean, it's probably been shown in the first week of the finals where Hawthorn went out after extra time, and Collingwood were quite fantastic, I thought, at the whacker against the West Coast Eagles, going down by just 2 points.
Kick by Gareth John was marked by Andrew Nicol. With a dodgy hand pass, and a big chance here as Scholl goes for goal and kicks North first in this last quarter.
Take on a tough job in tough country, and you usually have to get there on all fours. But when that's not enough, you just have to use your muscle. That's why there's a whole range of Mitsubishi Tritons with all the muscle of a big V6. And if you can't rely on a big V6 with four-wheel drive to get you there, who can you rely on?
So it's just 3 minutes left in the grand final of the reserves grade. Sudo couldn't break clear. Atkins. The bounce of the football in the centre, which is quite hard. It's a little bit unpredictable. Simon Atkins. There's Barry Stoneham.
Well, there's Barry Stoneham. We did wonder whether he might play when he came out and had a kick at half-time in the reserves, but obviously not playing. So how sad for him to break his leg late in the season. Peter German, buried in Beveridge's tackle. And we'll have another ball up.
All the thoughts about Barry Stoneham playing it would have to have been so wide of the mark it wouldn't have been funny.
Well, when you break your leg, it's almost impossible, Robbo, isn't it?
He's playing a grand final in the seniors. That's 4 weeks later.
Going forward here, they'll They'll get a free kick, no advantage, so it comes back to Dwyer, getting one over the shoulder. Kick by Dwyer, high to centre half forward. A chance. It rips to the back of the pack. Swept up there by Nicholson. German gives chase with Status Sir. Anwar gives a good chase. It comes into Brebner, but it was a throw. His nickname would have to be Anwar.
Well, I think it's great to see a couple of the youngsters in the Footscray team, Suto and Sir. And on the other side is a legend North Melbourne with Travis Rudd. That'd have to be a certainly surname of ethnic origin. But here's Darcy. This is Luke Darcy. Very skillfully. He must have been a bit stiff not to get a game in the seniors, Luke Darcy. He was picked as an emergency and just couldn't quite break into it at the end there. And that's bad luck.
Footscray player being carried off, and they're about to celebrate a premiership, and he won't be amongst it, Luke Beveridge.
Well, the kick by Satterley to the goal front helped over for a rush behind to Footscray. As we see Luke Beveridge obviously in a bit of pain there on the boundary line.
I reckon in about a minute's time you'll find him up and about.
Well, this is Danilchenko for North Melbourne in the left back pocket. Into the last minute. His kick goes out towards the wing. Great leap provided by Muir. Gets the hand pass into Wind. Wind, his kick towards centre half forward. Big leap by Nicholson. Ball spills to the back. Campbell off the left foot. Shot for goal. Falls short. Churchill and Barnett. Like the look of Churchill. Right. Goes after the footy. Nicholson handballs in front of himself over for a boundary throw in about 30 metres around from the Footscray goal.
It's the same sort of tenacity at the footy and at the player to tackle like Andy Collins at Hawthorn, Robbo. Nice and quick, keeps his eye on the ball.
Got boat catching here too. In the last 15 seconds of this reserves grand final, Steve McPherson, the one-glove one, comes up with it, gives it back to the umpire. The clock's ticking down all the time. And there it is. Footscray, the premiers in the reserve, turning the tables on the minor premiers, North Melbourne, and premiership success for Terry Wallace and his Footscray players, so many of whom had senior experience and even finals experience in the seniors this year. They won by 20 points over North, 16-16 to 13 goals 14.
I work out regularly, but not before warming up. I run a removals business, so I get the guys to limber up before they lift anything. Saves my claims costs, because it saves their backs.
Work covers working to stop injuries.
You've never heard a footy team like it. Kevin Sheedy, James Hurd, Ron Barassi, Kevin Bartlett, Peter Dacos, Graham Bond, the Coulterbeans, not to mention the legendary Rex Hunt, Sam Newman and Shane Healy. There's nothing better than 3AW for a good yak.
If you've ever crashed your car, you were probably glad one thing was left intact. Insurance. It puts things back together again.
Hang on, this is my race. I put a bet on at the TAB.
Who are you on?
Hey.
Jenny.
Jen?
Goes
TAB. You've got to be in it to win it.
A lot of people exercise at the gym, but we all do it at work. The boss gets us to warm up before we start, and it's better by a long stretch.
Work covers working to stop injuries.
The 7 Sports Mitsubishi Mark of the Year. Your phone vote could win you a Magna V6 Executive. Just dial the phone number you wish to vote for. Mark 1, Tony Modra, Adelaide. Mark 2, Gary Ablett, Geelong. Mark 3, James Cook, Carlton. Mark 4, Ashley McIntosh, West Coast. Mark 5, John Barnes, Geelong.
Sunday on Channel 7, a world premiere movie. Police rescues Gary Sweet is Cody, a new breed of cop with his own set of rules.
See the rest of it?
Cool, calculating, dangerous.
Don't add to my trouble.
Don't threaten me, pal. A young girl is missing.
Somebody's got it. Don't you understand?
The key to a mystery
I sent the ransom.
that will grip you. And take you to the very edge.
We pull this off. We got it.
For the first time on television, Ansett presents Cody, 8:30 Sunday on 7.
A 20-point victory to Footscray in the VSFL Reserves Grand Final over North Melbourne, 16-16, 112 to 13-14, 92. Leading goal scorers, Danny Delray got 3, Tyson Lane kicked 3, and for North Melbourne, a few of their players kicked 2 goals each. So, North Melbourne were minor premiers, won the second semi, but lost the grand final to this most experienced Footscray reserve side, and they have been celebrating out there with coach Terry Wallace, who's just had his shirt absolutely soaked while one of the players has squirted his water bottle at him. And there's Terry Wallace, the former Hawthorn and Footscray champion, and the presentation of the cup about to be made down at ground level. Here's Craig Willis.
Thanks, Drew. Congratulations to Footscray on winning the VSFL Premiership. And to make the presentation of the Premiership Cup, please welcome the General Manager of the Victorian State Football League, Mr. Ken Gannon.
Congratulations to both sides for making the grand final and setting the scene for today's main game, particularly to the Footscray Football Club. Well done. And I ask their captain, Simon Atkins, to come forward and receive the trophy.
And their coach, Terry Wallace. Firstly, I'd like to thank North Melbourne for the game. It was a very hard game, played in true spirit. I'd like to thank the boys that missed out of the squad, who carried us through the whole year. And I'd like to thank these boys, Terry Wallace and Steve McPherson, who got us out there. And for all the Footscray people, give back to the footy club at 8 o'clock tonight. Thank you. Well done, Simon and the team. I invite you now to take the boys, Terry, for a lap of honour at the MCG.
So a very happy squad of Footscray players. They missed out in the seniors, but they've won the reserves here, and a great day for them, beating North Melbourne in the grand final. The tension and the anticipation builds for the seniors here at the MCG. Hope you stay with us.
Grand final day, the first Saturday in October.